how was 4th of July?
4th of July was good. We were on vacation. Um, Played some golf, saw some fireworks. We were in this place in Delaware
Mhm.
that was not right on the beach, but it was like a little community that was maybe 20 minutes from the beach. And it was really weird because, first of all, they had like a lot of security there.
In-
Like there was a gate and there was like a security guard at the front, and you get in there and like the the grass is perfect and they clearly maintain it a lot. They got a golf course in that bitch. They got 4 pools. One indoor pool, one outdoor pool, one wave pool, and then um one like obstacle course pool.
oh,
And
that's
like
kind of
yeah, I mean it was pretty cool, but it was kind of weird because at the same time I'm in this like weird like 1950s style America place that clearly it's like a lot of wealth that's there. Like we
yeah.
had to rent a big house because we had Crystal's side of the family, my side of the family, all in the same house. So we rented this big ass like 6 bedroom house, and at the same time that shit was happening, the bill that Trump was trying to get through got through, and so I'm reading about like 17 million people going to lose their health care, people going to lose their food stamps, like all these horrible things. And then I look out the door and I see like, well, there's a fucking $3 million house and there's like a golf course that's perfectly kept. And it just felt like so, and there are like American flags everywhere and shit. It just felt really like starkly fascist in that moment. Like clearly
Yeah.
we live in like a fascist ass country with massive income and wealth inequality, and like we're in like the bunker right now, and then there's immense pain that's happening like right down the block, you know?
Yeah, I mean, well, I didn't understand. Was the bill close to not getting passed, and then the lady from Alaska like got promised OD shit and voted for it to go through, and then it like went through? Like, was that lady the deciding factor of like the vote? The lady from Alaska?
She was one of like 3 or 4 that were like the big deciding votes. So yeah, her getting her vote was a big deal.
But how, like, and this is what always confuses me about even like some states that have like the same um like electoral points or whatever when the like voting comes around, like this state gets 13 points or something. Like, why is her vote so much more important than like someone else, like New York or some shit like that? Like, how is that lady getting promised so much things for her state that she votes a certain way? And that shit sounds OD corrupt as fuck. Like, if someone was like, yo, come vote for my guy, I'll give you a duffel bag of, Sour Patch watermelon joints, endless trolley gummy bears. Like, I'd be like, all right, you got my vote. Like, I have no spine, but for that lady in Congress to like pass some shit that affects mad people, just, I mean, I respect that she was getting stuff for her state, but also like, look at the bigger picture. You're kind of like selling out OD for just your state, and it's like mad corrupt.
Yeah, for this particular bill, like there's 50 senators, 2 senators from each state. Their votes all count the same for this.
Oh,
What you're thinking of is the electoral college, which is, or like some states are worth more electoral college votes than others, which is just, has to do with population size, et cetera, et cetera. But their votes count the same. And yes, what they did is they said to her like, "Oh, we'll exempt your state, Alaska, from like some of the worst cuts in the bill. And if you do that, if you vote for the bill, then we'll exempt." And so they exempted some of the shit for her state. And so she was like, "Okay, I'll vote to fuck over people in the other 49 states, basically." So they got her. The other guy was Josh Hawley, was saying like,
yeah,
"I
where's
can't vote for this bill. It cuts Medicaid, and I want to protect Medicaid." And then he voted to cut Medicaid. So it's like they're such fucking scumbags, man. It's just unbelievable how gross they are.
a lot of those politicians are so spineless, man, and it's funny to see now. Like, there's this one kid I know who he does a lot of online gambling, and like, I guess there's something in the bill where you'll have to pay a lot more taxes on online gambling now. And he was a Trump guy, and now he's putting stuff on his story that's like, don't let the government, pass through all these things. So all these Trump people now, especially like the ones that are farmers in like rural states, everyone's kind of gonna start realizing that like Trump is not helping any of them, and it's just shit that you've been saying for a while that like everyone's been saying about. I even saw, because I think I still follow him, but like Jimmy Dore is even saying now that like the bill is bad, and like he was defending Trump, and like it's just funny how all these people who don't know what a con artist is or like what Trump was doing are now like, hey man, this guy's not who we thought he was. And it's like, bro, we've been saying this since '88.
I know, and it's like whenever the left is proven right about everything, nobody ever is just like, yeah, you guys were right. We agree with you now. It's always like some fucking mental gymnastics. It's happening now with the Epstein shit. You saw Trump made the FBI come out yesterday and say, actually, there's nothing to see with Epstein. Like, he didn't blackmail anybody. He didn't have a client list. He killed himself. He wasn't murdered. And so a bunch of like MAGA people are pissed. But if you pay attention to what they're doing, they're saying like, fuck Pam Bondi, who's the head of the FBI, and fuck Kash Patel. And no, Kash Patel's head of the FBI. Pam Bondi is the attorney general. But they're saying like, they're blaming everybody but Trump. And it's like, no, bitch, Trump is in the Epstein files. He's the problem. We've been telling you that he's in the Epstein files, and you didn't fucking listen to us, and now it's basically proven, and you still can't just say, you know what, the left is correct. So fuck all those people, because, like, they might, every now and then, people might be like, oh, yeah, I disagree with Trump on this or that. And then it's like, okay, keep going, are you there yet? Are you done yet? And it's always like, yeah, but I'm still kind of riding with him. It's like, fuck you, bro. Fuck you. Like, I don't want to hear it. Like, just say I made a mistake, say Kamala would have been better, and fucking man up and go left. Like, I hate all these Weasley-ass, like, fake-ass, like, criticisms where they always end up bending the knee again anyway.
The Epstein joint is crazy. I saw some funny tweets that were like, I think one was like, speaking as Epstein was like, damn, I shouldn't have, like, committed suicide because they didn't have enough evidence to, like, even have a case on me or something like that. Like, there's all, like, why is whatever Maxwell like in prison if there's no evidence of anything that Epstein did? Like, either Republicans were just straight lying to you about like having all these books and lists and flight records and logs of all this shit, and then all of a sudden like they don't have any of that stuff, and you're still gonna believe them on things they tell you. Like, it's just wild to me that like it's just like, hey, the case is closed on this after it's been such a sticking point for them throughout Biden's like whole campaign. That one is wild to me. And like, it's clearly, I think you put out a tweet for it that was just like, Trump was Epstein's best friend, and it's clearly that's why like none of this is coming out.
I deadass think that Trump may have murdered him now. I really believe that. I think Trump may have had him killed because when Epstein got killed, Trump was president and he was being held in a federal prison. And they say, oh, the security camera went out at the time that he got killed. Like, it's like, nobody really connected the dots enough. Like, now I feel like even I was going too soft just by saying, oh, yeah, he's on the Epstein list and he was Epstein's best friend. Like, we all know that shit. Like, there's so many allegations against Trump that the list is, like, endless. But now I'm starting to think, like, he may have had this motherfucker killed, dog.
I mean, it wouldn't put him past him. Like I said, I think he's a lot smarter than what people think. He comes across and says some dumb shit, but at the end of the day, I think he does things that will always like ultimately clear his name up. And that one was a weird one. The whole Epstein thing is kind of just mind blowing to me, and it kind of is like weirdly making. I don't know if he's becoming likable, but I don't know if like Elon. Has he flipped in your mind? Like, is he getting back in your good graces, like trying to start this new party and like kind of going,
bro. Nah. Like, so no. So let me explain. So like, what he's doing could potentially help us in this sense, divide and conquer type shit. So he's launching this new party called the America Party, which anybody who knows this stuff knows there's a third party's not going anywhere. It never goes anywhere. It's not possible. It's rigged against those people. But if he can spend his massive amounts of money to get, some politicians to run and he gets ballot access and like he says we're going to do like a couple Senate seats and maybe like eight seats in the House. And like if he were to run those people in certain districts, what could happen is his candidates could get like 4%, and that 4% comes out of the Republican votes, and that can make it so Democrats win. So in that respect, I like what he's doing because, like, okay, you're potentially fucking over MAGA, fucking over Trump and the Republicans. So I do love that. Having said that, it's fuck Elon now and forever because this motherfucker cut pediatric cancer research. He cut Meals on Wheels. He, like, destroyed the government, destroyed FEMA, the Department of Education.
Weather shit that...
He's responsible for that. Yeah, so him and Trump cut NOAA and the NWS, which is the National Weather Service. They fired 600 people, including like the severe weather managers in different places throughout the country. They reduced the number of weather balloons, so our forecasts aren't as accurate. And then because of that, the forecast was wrong in Texas and they got double the amount of rain that they expected, and there was a massive flood and some like little girls ended up dying, right?
Yeah.
100 people or more ended up dying. And so, yeah, like he's got blood on his hands. Like this motherfucker needs to be in prison, dog. And so I hate him because, like, okay, you're doing your own political party. What's the political party going to be, right? Like, what are you going to support? I'll tell you what it's going to be. It's going to be like MAGA, except the only difference is he wanted more Medicaid cuts in that bill, more than what they ended up getting. So he believes in austerity, like cut the government to the bone type shit.
Yep.
So he wanted that, and he probably wants more subsidies for himself. He's taken $38 billion in tax money. He wants like 100 or 200 billion, I'm sure. And then the other thing is he wants to give the country to the tech AI oligarch assholes who are like trying to put a chip in everybody's brain and trying to make machines take everybody's jobs. So like his party sucks. Like it's gonna suck hard. Like he sucks. Like he's not in favor of any of the. He doesn't want to raise the minimum wage or let people join a union or give anybody health care. So like fuck him. But he's so stupid. I think he thinks his party might actually win in some races, which is not going to happen. But
he could have when he was helping the Wisconsin person. Like people don't like him.
He's as unpopular as he's ever fucking been in his life. Like, people hate this motherfucker. So the party's going nowhere. But the only thing I like is that this will end up inadvertently helping Democrats. If it does anything, it'll help Democrats. It might end up having literally zero impact at all because it doesn't even get off the ground. That's very possible. Sort of like when Kanye ran for president and he got like 17 votes. Like, that's possible. But I don't know, like it might help Democrats or it might do nothing. So I guess I like what he's doing, but not for any reasons of like him being good now.
Yeah, I mean it's kind of like funny and sad and weird that like he just can't get out of the way. Like he feels like he has to be involved with all this politics stuff, and it's like, you don't have to do any of this. Like you're not a politician. Like just keep making your cars, just go away, and you could be fine. Like you don't. I kind of, in a way, like the way that he's so aggressive and passionate about this shit almost makes you feel like he does kind of care, because like if he like was in it for just himself, that would be very, very like egotistical. But like I feel like in a weird way he maybe does want to do right, but like is not doing the right things, because anyone who like does that much in the political like I feel like it can't be all to just benefit him. You know, like he actually might care, and that's why he like broke up with Trump and is like trying to do some political shit. Yes, ultimately it's for him, but like, do you think? I feel like there's got to be some part of him that's like, I actually feel like I can make a difference here.
No, he is a narcissist to the same degree Trump is a narcissist. Like he is all about himself and self-aggrandizement and being like a legendary person who goes down in the history books. And to your point, like he actually did do what he did because of personal reasons. Like there was a bunch of shit. So he gave Trump $270 million to win the White House, and he felt entitled to have Trump do literally everything he wanted Trump to do. And Trump ended up taking some things out of the big, beautiful bill, which pissed off Elon. So one of the things he took out was more subsidies for electric vehicles, which directly hurts Elon Musk's wallet. So he was pissed off about that. He lost a lot of money as a direct result of that. He was pissed off because he wanted this specific guy to be the head of NASA, who was basically like Elon's lackey. And Trump was originally going to put him in, and then he took him out. And so there were like 3 or 4 different parts of the bill that Elon demanded that weren't in the bill, and that's when he turned on Trump. So it had nothing to do with like the same reason I hate the bill or you hate the bill, that you're taking healthcare away from people and cutting food stamps and all that shit. He doesn't care at all about that. He wants to cut more healthcare and cut more food stamps. So it really does come down to he feels slighted. He's a huge ego narcissist, and he still wants the spotlight, and he realizes he's not going to get back in Trump's good graces, so now he's trying to do his own thing. But what he doesn't realize is he's a fucking nerd, bro. Like, nobody likes this guy. He's a fucking piece of shit.
Yeah, that's unfortunate. It sucks. Because you would hope that he would want to do for good, but like, but he doesn't. I saw Bernie was back on Joe Rogan, which was good. He said some good things. I like that. But I don't think. I don't know why like a Rogan wouldn't have Elon back on now to try and expose Trump on a lot of his things. You know,
he will. Rogan is an Elon simp. He's a total Elon simp. Like,
but even now that like he's kind of parted ways with Trump, I feel like that
Rogan is closer with Elon than Trump. He
Oh,
feels more of a kinship with Elon than Trump. He's had Elon on his podcast like 5 or 6 times. He's had Trump on once, right?
yeah, yeah,
And you could tell the way he talks about Elon is like pathetic. It's so like he's a little boy and Elon's like his daddy type shit.
yeah,
And
yeah,
and yes, Rogan endorsed Trump and he was on the Trump train, but recently he's had some little comments here and there where like, oh, I disagree with Trump on this thing or that thing. But with Elon, he still rides his nuts super hard. So now, if anything, Elon gives Rogan more of the ability to disagree with Trump even more. So I
yeah,
think he probably will have him on soon. He probably will talk to him about the America Party or whatever the fuck bullshit he's doing. But to the Bernie thing, like, Bernie did okay. Like, I watched that podcast. Bernie did his normal shtick, and a lot of it was really good, and I'm happy that the audience heard it. But then you could see in that podcast how much worse Rogan is these days. Like, he did some climate change denial right to Bernie's face. He had these moments that were just like, ugh. So
yeah,
in a sense, I feel like Rogan is he's desperately trying to get the stench of Trump off of him because now Trump is like not cool anymore and
yeah,
he's destroying the country. And so this is his way. Oh, look, I had Bernie Sanders on. It's like having Bernie Sanders on once is not going to fucking change the fact that like 9 out of 10 of your shows now are just right-wing garbage. So
yeah,
like he's trying to clean it up and he can't do it because he's never going to come out and tell the truth, which is Kamala was better. I was conned by Trump. Trump's destroying the country. He's never going to tell you the full truth.
yeah. Question: When are you scheduled to get your eyes done?
So I meant to ask you, have I told my story about getting the consultation on the podcast yet or no?
I don't think you said you were going to go to get your consultation for your eyes, but I don't think you said how it went.
Okay, so I'll tell you because I had it already. And to
Mhm.
answer your question, my surgery is scheduled for 10 days from now. So
Tell coming up.
I am fucking stoked for this shit. So let me tell everybody what happened. So I went to for a consultation to get my to get my eyes fixed. I have terrible eyes, as Corin knows. My prescription is like about -7 in both eyes.
My shit
Which
is negative 0.25, so like 7 is on
wait,
some.
you're only negative 0.25?
Yeah,
That's it?
yeah.
How do you even know that you need glasses
Oh.
at that level?
Oh, I'm sorry, 2.25, negative 2.
Okay, all right,
Yeah,
that
yeah.
makes more sense. Because if you're negative 0.25, if somebody's negative 0.25, they wouldn't even realize that their eyes are bad because they would be able to see fine. You know what I'm saying?
Negative 2.25 in both eyes.
Okay, that makes sense. But by the way, I read that Tiger Woods was negative 11.
How that's like blind. Like what is?
In some states, I think that's legally blind. Yeah, so
Yeah.
he got LASIK eye surgery twice. Tiger
Damn.
got.
Damn.
I know. I was surprised when I heard that because like you're the best golfer in the world. I figured you'd have perfect eyesight. You know.
100%. And even like I don't get why they had to do it twice. Maybe it wore off the first time, or
It
like
did. So when he first got it, it was like he was a little too young, I think, when he first got it, and then so his eyes still got worse as he got older. So I think he had it in like 1999 and like 2007 or something like that.
Yeah, so that was
Yeah.
early into the LASIK because that shit probably didn't come about until whenever he got that shit.
It's been around for a while, but yeah, it
Oh.
was relatively early in in the grand scheme of things. But
Yeah.
so if people are wondering, I went in and I had the idea of I stumbled across this new surgery, relatively new, called ICL surgery. And ICL surgery is different from LASIK. When people get LASIK, laser eye surgery, what happens is they got to cut a flap at the bottom of your eye, lift it up, and then use a laser to fix the cornea to make it so you can see. Then they close the flap up, and then you're good. But there's some problems associated with it. For one thing, a lot of people struggle with dry eyes after they get LASIK. And for me, that was a concern because of all of my years of contact abuse. I was already having dry eye before the surgery.
You have
So-
those shit for like 87 years.
I mean, I've abused my eyes. My eyesight's been horrible. I wear the night and day contacts, and I've worn them. I mean, there are times I've probably worn them for 3 months straight, even though you're only supposed to wear them for a month. You know what I'm saying? And like I put eye drops in and shit to like keep it fresh. But still, by the end of 3 months, your eyes are probably screaming like, "Hey, dog, you got to give me a break."
Yep.
So, I wanted this thing called ICL surgery. ICL surgery is they put a little incision on the side of your eye, then they basically put a permanent contact in your eye. And I had like researched about it and realized like this shit is perfect for me because no dry eye concerns. It's a reversible surgery, et cetera, et cetera. So there were all these upsides. Still like pretty easy recovery, pretty quick surgery. So I was thinking, yo, we're doing this shit.
Yeah.
So I go for a consultation with the eye surgeon who's got like all this experience. He's done all these surgeries for the military too for a long time. Even before they were FDA approved, he was already doing these surgeries for the military because, you know, they've been approved around the world. So he was an expert with it. Anyway, so I go in and they have a bunch of different options that you can get. So there's LASIK eye surgery, which is what most people get, which is what I described. I told you the way that one works. Then there's this one called PRK surgery, and PRK surgery is older than LASIK, and there's upsides and downsides. The upsides are people tend to have like really perfect vision after it, and there's no worries about like the flap opening back up or dry eyes or anything like that. But the problem with PRK is it hurts. And for like 2 weeks after the surgery, you feel like your eyes actually hurt. One person described it to me who got the surgery as like there was like a million eyelashes stuck in his eye for 2 days after he got the surgery. Horrible, right? So right off the bat, I'm a bitch. When I heard about how PRK worked, I was like, no interest. Get that shit away from me. Not doing that one, right?
Nope. Yeah.
LASIK, I was like, maybe. Let me see my options. But then when I came across the ICL shit, I was like, that's the shit I want. So I go for the consultation, and the dude, like, they do, it's like a standard eye exam. They do the pressure test, and they
shit.
They do the puff shit. They do a pressure test. They put drops in. They like recheck your prescription. You go through like a whole eye test, right? They take measurements and shit of your cornea and whatever. And then I talk to the surgeon, and the surgeon starts telling me the options. I said I'm looking for ICL surgery, yada yada. And then he goes, "Have you considered smile surgery?" And I was like, "What the fuck is that?" And I had been doing research on eye surgeries, and I had never heard of smile, or like I heard of it, but like I don't know, I didn't think much of it or whatever. I didn't like go deep on smile like I did with the others. So he explains to me what smile is basically laparoscopic LASIK surgery. So LASIK includes cutting the bottom and like lifting the eye up, right? And then using the laser. So cutting a flap in your eye, lifting it up, and then getting your eyesight right. Smile is, instead of cutting a flap and like lifting it up, what they do is take a laser and make like the tiniest incisions, and then they go in there and fix it after just like having a couple tiny incisions in your eye. So it's basically like, it's the difference between like when they used to do surgeries when they had to go inside your body and they just like cut you open and like have to go in that bitch. And then they came up with laparoscopic, which is they make a tiny incision and put like a camera in there or whatever and figure out what the problem is. That's what smile is. It's like
scary as fuck. Like they're putting like little dots on your eyes compared to just like one shit on your eye.
So instead of a big cut at the bottom and they lift your eye, it's like a tiny incision in your eye, and then they could do the surgery through the tiny incision.
Oh.
So in other words, smile is like upgraded LASIK. It's like the newer LASIK. It's like the higher quality, better LASIK. And so then, he was talking to me about it, and he was telling me the differences between the surgeries and shit. And what he said to me is, he was like, for ICL surgery, it's about a 30-minute surgery, so like 15 minutes per eye. Maybe it could go up to like 45 minutes or whatever. And he said, but the next day you'd have to come back because they have to check the pressure in your eye after they put the contact in. So some people have issues with the pressure in their eye afterwards, and so you have to go back the next day. And he said, recovery's relatively fast though. And then he tells me about smile, and he goes, the smile surgery, you don't have to come back the next day. You come back a week later. And he said, the smile surgery, you're in and out in 15 minutes because it's 7 minutes per eye, basically. And so it's faster. So it's faster. You don't have to come back the next day. And he said, there's no concern whatsoever with dry eye when it comes to smile surgery. So I asked him straight up. I was like, look, I was looking for ICL surgery, but which one would you recommend I get? And he was like, 100% get smile. And I was like, okay, I'm in. So I'm going with the smile surgery. I'm getting it done 10 days from now. I am fucking stoked, dog. I can't wait for that shit.
Well, I don't get why. I mean, like, if you are doing some other type of like you're getting stitches or some shit, like I feel like there's one way to do it. Like, why is there 17 different ways to get your eyes done?
So it's a good question. I'll answer. So the PRK was first. That's just the one they figured out first. Yeah. That's the one that hurts, right? Then after that, they came up with LASIK. And LASIK is good, but you also run into dry eye problems. Like that's one of the side effects of LASIK. So that was like the next level surgery. Then basically like ICL surgery is for people who aren't candidates for LASIK. So in order to get LASIK, not everybody can get it. your cornea needs to be thick, a certain thickness. Like there's
Okay.
certain things about your eye that have to be there.
Yeah.
Thankfully, apparently my corneas are thick as fuck, which is good. So
Okay.
he was like, you could honestly get any surgery you wanted, but he recommended Smile.
I can tell you
But
what corny is.
you could tell?
No, I'm just kidding.
Oh, I thought you'd hit me with like, dog, big ears, big corneas or some shit. So basically each one got better, basically. So like ICL surgery came about because some people are not candidates for LASIK, so they came up with a surgery that people who can't get LASIK can get their eyes fixed and get ICL surgery. And then Smile surgery is just laparoscopic LASIK, so it's like a natural progression of, because some people, that's the other thing. If you're in the military, for example, they don't let you get LASIK. Because if you get LASIK, you run the risk of your eye flap reopening. They say, like, if you get LASIK, and then, like, let's say you're playing basketball and you get hit in the face with the ball or somebody elbows you, your flap could come loose, dog.
Oh.
So there are, like, they say, like, certain, like, strenuous activities you should avoid after you get LASIK. And so LASIK is a great surgery, but it's a little outdated, whereas this one is, like, just a better LASIK where you don't have the dry eye, you don't have to worry about the flap opening up. So it's just, like, to answer your question, there's, like, 4 different surgeries. It was just because they got better and better at figuring out how to fix the problem, basically.
Yeah. Well, I mean, that's good that they'll do that shit. I eventually, I think, want to get to that point because I have my favorite pair of glasses, and
You told me it broke.
Yeah, kind of fuck Warby Parker because I had them shits and I was just cleaning them and they cracked. So I was thinking like, all right, I'll bring them to Warby Parker. They're just either replace them or they'll hit me with like some discount or some coupon code or some shit to like replace them. Like my fucking glasses broke like from cleaning them. So I went in there and the girl was like, yeah, we could replace them for sure. Pick out a pair. And then I was like, all right, cool, these, because they didn't have the ones that I actually like cracked. And she tried to charge me full price, and I was like, oh, like I thought like I could.
Yeah,
just
you thought you were getting those shits, yeah.
Yeah, and then Molly was siding with Warby Parker because I called like their corporate office, and I was like, hey, like you guys don't make these glasses anymore. Can you hit me with like at least like a discount or a coupon code or some shit because I still want to get these glasses again. She was like, yeah, like you got them in like 2020. It's 2025, so like now there's really nothing we can do. And I was like, I kind of was a little upset. I was like, 1, they don't make the glasses anymore. 2, I want to still get them shits. Like, the glasses shouldn't break. And they only had a month warranty. So Molly was like, yeah, maybe the lady couldn't give you a discount. Like, maybe that was above her or some shit. And 2, like, those shits are from 2020. So, like, it's time to buy a new pair. But I kind of was like, they should have hit me with some shit to get a new pair. Like give me 20% off to make me happy or some shit.
But I'd also recommend the style of the glasses you want, look up that same style from other companies because you might be able to find a cheaper version of the same shit. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, there's probably something. I hit her with like the end of the phone call, like some subtle, like, yeah, thanks. I think I'm going to check out some other brands and see. But like, I kind of feel them. Like, if she didn't have the authority to hit me, like, I'm always confused sometimes when I go to like Dunkin' Donuts or some like fast food shit, and they're like, yeah, it's on me. I'm like, you don't really have the authority to put that shit on. I like when they do it, but also like some regular ass worker in Dunkin' Donuts doesn't have the authority to hit me with like 2 free donuts. But like if they do, shout out to them because I'm happy.
Yeah, if you
like, you've seen I've had the glasses for since 2020. I'm telling you, I fuck with them. So hit me with some shit. Like now, I'm go find some other shit.
There's nothing worse than like your favorite pair of glasses somehow getting fucked up because I have the same problem. So these glasses I'm wearing now, I've literally had these since like college or maybe high school.
Yeah.
And the reason I keep going back to, they're not even my prescription. These are like, my eyes are about -7. These shits are like -6.5 or 6.75.
Your eyes?
What's that?
Your eyes have gotten worse.
Yeah, my eyes have gotten worse since when I bought these glasses, which literally was like fucking college or high school or whatever the fuck. But I keep going back to these because these are, since my prescription is bad, my glasses get heavy. You can see how thick they are. Pause.
Yeah. Those are dumpty.
Yeah, so, but these ones are comfortable on my face. They don't like, fucking, these pads don't like dig into my nose and make it feel shitty. And so I always go back to these to give myself a break from my other glasses, which I like the way the other ones look, but they're heavy on my face and they hurt my fucking nose.
Yeah.
And so if I were to break these shits, like when I went on vacation, I had forgotten to bring these and I had to wear my other ones for the whole week. And by the end of the shit, I'm like, God damn, my shit hurts. Like, I don't want to wear these. So
Yep.
between now, I'm basically, I haven't tried it in a hot minute, but now I feel like I'm intolerant of contacts. Like, my
Yeah.
eyes basically broke when I got sick and I got the pink eye in both eyes.
Yeah.
My
Yeah.
eyes
Yeah.
were basically like, hey, dog, we're done. Like, I'm not letting you wear contacts anymore. Like, fuck you. You abused me for too long. So my eyes, like, shut down. Now, if I put my contacts in at the end of one day, they'll be red and fucking, like, teary and all sorts of fucked up. And
Yeah.
so now it's like, I'm hanging on to these glasses for dear life, and then I can't wait till I get this fucking surgery, man. I'll let you know how it goes. And this one also, this surgery that I'm doing is actually less expensive than the ICL surgery.
Oh, really?
ICL was significantly more expensive, I think. This one is a little less expensive. So I'll let you know how it goes because
Do they take insurance? Because a lot of that shit sometimes doesn't. Like,
they do take insurance, but I don't think a lot of and this is the problem with insurance in America is like most plans don't fucking cover your eyes. Like for your eyes, they're like, hey, you're on your own type shit, you know, as if the eyes are not part of your body, right?
yeah, yeah, that's a
It's
weird
such
one.
a scam. Like, wait, my eyes are in my body, just like teeth. They do the same thing for do you have dental coverage? Who the fuck has dental coverage?
Yeah,
You get health insurance. They're like, we'll barely cover it if you die. You know what I'm saying? But eyes and teeth, they're like, fuck off. We're not gonna.
Yeah.
So I don't know how much it's gonna be. I think it's probably gonna be like 3,000 or 4,000 per eye, maybe a little more.
Yeah, that's still not that bad. I feel like LASIK I've heard is like 10 to 15 or some shit like that.
It depends where you go. Some places, a lot of places do LASIK, so you can actually get cheap LASIK. But when it
Oh.
comes to something like that, you don't want to like skimp out on that. You want to be like, yo, give me the most expensive shit. Because basically they're saying I'm gonna fix your eyes forever. So it's like, shit, how much money you want? Like I'll give you whatever the fuck, you know. Like insurance should cover it, but they don't. So you know you're on your own with that shit. But I'll let you know how it is because if this shit is as good as it's promised, then man, you might want to. It'll be a life-changing decision, dog. You might love that shit.
I gotta look into it. I'm on like the contact phase now where when I had my glasses I was wearing my glasses all the time. So it kind of was like, I wasn't even thinking about my contacts. But now that I've started using my contacts again, I'm on a contact binge where it's like I'm running through all my contacts now. And like, same point with the insurance. I think I only get like once a year I can re-up my shit, but it's like, I need contacts like
Right.
time. So it's like, what
Yep.
the fuck? And then like Lens Crafters hits me every day and they're like, you need a new eye exam. And I'm like, oh, bitch, I was just there. Like I just got an eye exam and my shit never changes. Like
Yeah,
it's
you're done. It's straight now.
my eyes. Like if I'm good with my prescription from 20 years ago, like let me rock with that. Like it shouldn't have to, like, to give me new glasses or give me new contacts, you got to take a new exam. Like driver's license, you don't have to do for like fucking 10 years or 15 years, if that.
It's such a scam. It's so true. Like your eyes stop getting worse at a certain age. Once they stop getting worse, they're steady for a long time. And then when you get to like your senior years, then you usually need reading glasses. But like they still force you in order to get new glasses or in order to get new contacts. They're like, you have to have a new prescription. And it's like, I know I'm going to get the same fucking prescription when I go to the eye doctor. Why do I need the eye exam? I know what my eyes are.
Imagine you had to take like a walking test every time you wanted to buy a new pair of sneakers or some shit.
I know. That's what it's like, right? Every time you take a shit, they're like, or you need to have a new toilet paper test. Like, you can't buy toilet paper unless you pass our shitting test. Like, what the fuck are you talking about?
Like wipe your ass. And like, speaking of that, my wiping my ass game has been off lately because like, I don't know what it is. If like because it's hot, there's more condensation and like just heat in between my cheeks, but like it makes it harder to wipe. So it's like I gotta find a bathroom, wipe my ass like double from when I go to the bathroom.
It's got to be because of the sweat, because it's hot out and it's sweaty and like it's just your ass cheeks are sweaty, so you feel like, damn, I didn't get everything.
Low key, I like even doing sit ups. Like I've been trying to do sit ups at the gym like every time I go, but whatever the case is, I could put like one of those little like black back mat things under my back. There's always that like ass chafing from like when you do your sit ups that like your butt moves a little bit, and it like it's kind of it makes it impossible if you're trying to get perfect abs to do sit ups every single day because it's just impossible to do a sit up without moving your butt. Just that like fraction of a little bit of like whatever that throws off your ass that like you can't do it every single day.
You think are you gonna get your abs back for real? Like you're gonna bring them back?
I mean, I'm like trying but not trying. Like I went to the gym today and worked out, and then after I was just so hungry, no, I actually went to Burger King, and I got okay. Burger King's type expensive because they have a Duo, which is $6, and you only get a burger and fries or a drink. And they have the Trio, which is 8 chicken tenders, um, a burger, and you can get a fries or a soda for $8. And that shit's type expensive because Wendy's has a biggie bag that's $5, and you get a burger,
Damn,
fries, and a drink, um, and nuggets. So like they
that's good. That's a
bless
good
you.
deal.
And Molly always says that I don't that like Wendy's chicken nuggets are like unhealthy. I feel like Wendy's chicken nuggets are like out of all of them, probably the healthiest chicken nuggets. I don't know why, but they look healthier than the other ones.
The McDonald's ones are just straight like slime shit in them, you know, and they taste good, but it's not really like chicken, you know.
I've never come across one the Burger King chicken fries, like a bad bite of chicken, and those were actually pretty good today. But they put like a weird like Parmesan garlic seasoning on it, which kind of fucks it up. But to the question of abs, I'm trying to get them back, but I'm not like dieting at my fullest potential. Like that's what the key is the dieting, and I just can't get to a point where like I was back in my days of like turkey and
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
like um really cutting out carbs. But I've been working out. I've been going strong. It's hard to maintain that shit, man.
So speaking of abs, did you see the new scandal around Drake?
No, I saw he posted a photo showing his abs. Were they fake?
So yeah, he posted a photo with some fucking emo ass high school girl ass thing, and it's a picture of him shirtless, oiled up, showing his abs, and it's like alcohol all in front
Yeah.
of him and shit.
Yeah.
And his abs are 100% fake. Like he got ab surgery, dog. He got some surgery to like vacuum the fat out from in between like the spots where the abs are. You know what I'm
Is that
saying? Like
real?
it's a real thing. And I saw a bunch of like, you know, like fitness YouTubers and influencers and shit and like hip hop heads, and they were breaking it down where like there is literally zero doubt that he got ab surgery because his chest and his shoulders and the rest of his body do not match. Like if you are working out, shit is gonna roughly keep up. You know what I'm saying? Like you're gonna be about on the same level for the shoulders, the chest, the back, the fucking abs. And his shit wasn't. And so what's so crazy is he thought he was killing it with that picture. Meanwhile, he just handed Kendrick another massive W because Kendrick had that line about like, let your fans stomach that and tell them where you get your abs from or something like that. I'm paraphrasing, but that's roughly the line.
All that abs like in his last shit.
So Kendrick called out that Drake had fake abs in one of his previous songs because
Oh wow, I didn't know that.
people had already known that Drake had fake abs, but when I saw that picture, I had no idea if that was true. As far as I was concerned, that was just maybe another Kendrick's just talking shit and half the shit is lies. Like it is what it is.
Stuff he called him out on was like some like he did his research, he did his homework, and like he's not saying that without some proof or somebody telling him that is the case.
Like some of the shit is probably not true because it's a rap battle and you got to say crazy shit, but the ab shit is fucking true. And that like okay, so here's what I'm thinking about this, and I'm curious what you think. So like between the Drake shit where he's showing his fake ass abs trying to flex after he already got humiliated. He dropped another song which was humiliating because he's like whining like a bitch and trying to call everybody out again. Between that and Diddy was found guilty on only 2 of 5 charges.
Yeah, so, that was like
so he could get up to 2 years in prison is what he could get with it. But he got
not going to get oh, is it up to 2 years or 10 years?
Up to 2, I think, for the thing I think he was found guilty of prostitution, Crystal told me. But like the biggest charges, he's off.
Yeah, he kind of lucked out. I mean, like the same lawyer that he had, and I didn't follow that other case, but it was like YSL or something like that, like some other like rapper that he got off. And the other one was like I think attempted murder or something like that. So like that lawyer is gonna start getting mad cases because like he's getting everybody off.
But between the Drake shit with the fake abs, Diddy getting away with like some of his worst crimes, and like Trump and Elon and the fact that they fucking like just killed little girls by fucking up our weather forecast. I'm looking at all this shit and I'm thinking to myself, bro, we need to bring back cancel culture. Like these people, like these motherfuckers have no shame, dog. Like within 10 years, Diddy's gonna drop another song collabing
100.
with some other artist, some big ass artist, and it's like we got to get back to a place where like if you fuck up on some OD over the top shit, you got to go away, man. Like stop. I don't want to see Drake's fake abs in my face. I don't want to hear Diddy drop another song or fucking be in commercials or whatever the fuck again. I don't
Yep.
want to see Elon making a political party after he cut Meals on Wheels and pediatric cancer research. Like people used to bitch about cancel culture. There is no cancel culture. Like it's gone, bro. I want to bring that shit back because I never want to see Drake again. He should be at the bottom of the charts. I never want to see Diddy again. But here they are fucking all up in our face, and it just drives me crazy. Like, we don't have standards anymore. Nobody
No.
has fucking standards anymore, bro. Trump
Yeah.
just, like, bombed Iran for no reason the other week, and then we just kept moving on. Like, this is fine. Like, this motherfucker should be in prison. He just offensively attacked some country that was minding its goddamn business. We got to bring back cancel culture. These people need to get away from us.
I feel like, yes, but there's so much shit happening that it's like what's next? Like just the Texas floods makes you stop thinking about like the bombing for a second. Like it's just so much shit happening that you don't
Yep.
even have to cancel anyone anymore. So like it was almost like a cutoff line. Like if you were canceled previous to like Trump getting in office, it's a wrap for you. But like post Trump getting in office, you're good because there's always going to be like an audience of people that now are just the other side of the argument, like because they want to be contrarian to everyone else. So it's
Yep.
like, no, Kanye's not crazy. Like he's just misunderstood, or you guys are crazy.
Another example.
No, we can all agree that like Diddy was doing fucked up shit, and he should be in prison. But there's gonna be people that one realize that when he gets out, he's still gonna have money, he's still gonna have power just because of his fame and his followers and all that shit. So they want to befriend him and be like, yo, I was defending you, and hopefully get something out of him and be on his side when like the the fact of the matter is we should all be against him and that motherfucker he should just go away. So like,
Bro,
yeah,
if Kanye, let's say Kanye became a Nazi and became like a mental breakdown crazy person, let's say that happened in 2007, right?
yeah, rap for him.
He cooked,
Yeah.
overdone. Nobody wants to hear from you anymore. Nobody wants to talk to you anymore. Get the fuck off TV. Get the fuck off the internet. Like, you are done, son. And now, there's nothing that anybody could, like, even, like, O.J. Simpson murdered somebody and then was posting TikTok videos, dog. Like,
Yeah.
we have no standards as a country anymore. No standards. Somebody at some point is going to live stream themselves graping somebody or killing somebody, and then they're just going to like go on. They're going to get away with it, and they're going to just act like nothing happened, and they're going to be fucking live streaming themselves eating fucking Taco Bell, and everybody's going to be like, yeah, that's just Dave. And it's like, fuck Dave. Why can't we have standards anymore as a society? We have no standards. People get away with the craziest fucking shit.
The craziest stuff, and it's like all I was upset because I randomly was watching. Do you remember America's Funniest Home Videos?
Yep. Mm-hmm.
I was watching America's Funniest Home Videos, and do you know that Carlton is the host of that shit from Fresh
Oh
Prince?
shit! I didn't know that.
So they had all the videos on there, and I wasn't laughing. A couple of them were okay, but they were all fake, and they all seemed like people were putting videos on there just to do it. And then I was at the lake house with Molly and her family, and Molly was on a jet ski coming in, and it was like when she was supposed to turn off the engine, and she didn't, and she like revved it. So like her sister-in-law was like helping her bring it in and ate it like 2 feet in the air, fell on the shit. And I wish I was recording because I would have sent it to America's Funny Home Video. But like, just made me think that like everything, even with the live streaming, there's so much fake shit going on and people just putting out fake content that like it just pisses me off. There's just a lot of fake shit now that like no, like there's no policing fake videos. There's no policing like kind of just people being dickheads in public. There's none of that like cancel culture anymore that like was a good thing. There was people that needed to be like the guy Chris D'Elia, like we don't ever hear from him anymore, and like because he was like a dickhead. Like Louis
Yeah.
C.K., he was just weird and awkward, and like I still think he's a funny comedian, but like he's still kind of canceled. Like he just sends out like emails to like his email database, but he's not doing like mainstream shit, I don't think.
Yeah, he built a following on his own where he got everybody to like sign up for his website or sign up for his newsletter.
Yeah,
And
yeah,
so when he got canceled, what he did was say, I'm gonna just retreat into my cocoon with only my closest fans following me. And he says, I feel so much better now as a result of that, because he said he thinks he was too famous for what he was doing. Like,
yeah,
there was times where he looked around and went like, how am I like one of the most famous people on earth? Like, I just tell dick jokes and shit. And so that is a good example of he handled it. It was kind of crazy and masterful how he handled it in a way where other people never handled it like that, where they don't have their core audience. But now it's like you can say anything, get away with anything, do anything, and then like not only still be around, but like still be like an accepted household name. You know what I'm
yeah,
saying?
yeah.
And that's just weird to me. Like the fact that we all know Diddy's probably going to get a light sentence and then be back out doing his shit is like, how is everybody okay with this, bro? Like we saw him beat Cassie's ass on video, dog.
Yeah.
Like that's it, man. Like that, go away, go away, go away. We really got to bring it back. We really got to bring it back. Cancel culture's got to make a comeback, man.
Well, the thing that I mean, it's like it's kind of like no one can get canceled anymore because they have their own following. I think in the past, like people relied on like
It's a good
going
point.
on 60 Minutes or going on doing a fucking Barbara Walters like tell all, clear your name type shit, and like relied on like the mainstream media. When now that shit is like a cesspool, dog. It's like every mainstream shit is like horrible TV now. Like there's
Yeah.
nothing good that I put on anymore that I'm like I watched you ever watch the show What Would You Do with like John Quinones or some shit like that?
Yeah, that was an old school show, right?
I mean like I think there was a different host in the past, but like I think the show's been around for a minute. But it's so fake. Like they do these situations that like you watch it and you're like, this isn't even like this is so corny. Like even mainstream TV is doing just corny, staged, set up like shit that they think people are interested in. When like you can go on the internet and see like they'll do a situation where they go to a diner and there's like a lesbian couple in the booth and they like plant a guy at the bar next to some other guy and he's like they're like, oh, I love you, babe, and the guy's like, oh man, that's gay, and like we'll just start bothering them and they want like the guy sitting at the bar to like interact with them and say something, and it's totally like made up, and then like you can go online and watch that and watch someone like actually beat their ass for like saying that shit, so like it's like
That's true. Yeah.
PG and so scripted. So like there's no you don't have to rely on mainstream media anymore to like kind of like Diddy can just go on his social media channel after his case and tell his side of the story and not have to like appease people. So it's like cancel culture doesn't exist anymore because everyone can just kind of just go to their following, say shit that they want, and like the people who follow them are going to agree with them because that's who they like. And then there's going to be people who don't like them, but like at the end of the day, they could still I don't. I mean, I mean, like they can't really get endorsements or anything like that. But I don't know how they make money. But like,
Yeah, but
they,
that's the thing though. They don't even need it. First of all,
yeah,
a lot of them will get endorsements still, but they don't even need it. Like when we were younger, there was only like a handful of people who were able to be fucking crazy and get away with it, right? Like yeah, so like the Jackass crew,
yeah,
they all got a pass because they're like, hey, that's the Jackass people. That's what they do, right?
yep, yep,
Eminem was like the OG troll where he can get away with saying whatever the fuck, doing whatever the fuck. Tom Green was the OG troll. He can get away with doing pranks, fucking everybody over, etc. Right? And like, you know, like South Park, the cartoon, they can say whatever they want and kind of get away with it. But like, that was sort of it. Like, there was a little group of, look, if you're these people, go ahead, go wild. We understand this is what you do, and it is what it is. But now it's like those rules apply to literally everybody in society, even fucking politicians.
yeah,
right? And it's like, nah, dog. Nah. Because once you get to the point where there are no standards, then like society degrades, right?
mm-hmm.
Where like there's no standards. Like I was saying, somebody could be a rapist, somebody could be a murderer, somebody could fucking be caught committing fraud and like acting like everything's chilling. Like now, if you scam somebody, there's a whole industry, dog, just built on scams. The whole crypto industry is just scams on top of scams on top of scams. And people just openly talk about like, yeah, I do crypto shit. And it's like, You're admitting, like, I'm a fucking scoundrel, degenerate, asshole fraudster, and you shouldn't be around me or talk to me. That's what you're admitting.
Yep.
And, like, so I want to get back to a point where, like, I'm not a prude. I don't want to live in a society where everybody's, like, leave it to beaver and everybody's proper and nobody's having fun or whatever. I'm not that extreme. But I do want to get to a place where, yeah, there's only a handful of people who are the wild ones. And then everybody else has just basic rules of decency and humanity.
Yeah.
Because, like, now, like, I was just talking about this with Crystal. Netanyahu is at the White House today, or he's in D.C. today.
Oh,
And he said to Trump, he said, I sent a letter of recommendation, like, I officially nominated Trump to get a Nobel Peace Prize. So stop and think about this, dog. You have a dude who's literally mass murdering people on a daily basis, Netanyahu, and Trump, a guy who drops bombs on like 4 or 5 countries on any given day, right? Yemen, Somalia, Iran. 2 war criminals, and they're talking to each other like, hey, I think he should get a Nobel Peace Prize. I submitted his like paperwork to the fucking Nobel Committee. It's like, come on, man. Like, come on. This is beyond parody at this point. This is like some Twilight Zone type shit where you got the 2 worst people on Earth. And they're like, aren't we like the best people on Earth? It makes me want to shove my head in a fucking waffle iron, man.
Who does he even recommend him to? Like, is there
the Nobel Committee? I guess like the people who make the decision. Like you can submit, like, I think this person should get it, and he submitted it. But it's like it's a sick joke. It's like you're spitting in the eye of everybody who's paying attention to the world. Like we just watched this motherfucker bomb Iran. Iran didn't attack us. They weren't building a nuke, and he just bombed the shit out of Iran. And you think he should get a Nobel Peace Prize? The motherfucker was just dropping bombs on innocent people. Like, come on, man, this is crazy.
Yeah, I don't know what the like allegiance. I mean, like to Netanyahu is like why everyone is so like when they had the mayoral like thing in New York City and everyone was like kissing his ass, and then the guy who won was
Yeah.
I'm gonna just focus on New York. Like I'm not worried.
And
Speaking of
that
that,
answer.
go. What happened?
What'd you say?
No, I was gonna switch to the Knicks and Mike Brown.
Yeah. I don't know how to feel about it, man. I don't know how to feel about Mike Brown because he's got, like, his track record's decent. You know, when I hear about how he is as a coach, I'm like, okay, that could work. But I don't know if he has the locker room or if he's going to have the locker room, number one. Number two, if you really wanted to get over the hump, is he the one? I was of the opinion they should have brought in the guy from Villanova. That's what I thought.
Jay Wright. Yeah, well, he said he wasn't interested in coaching. Like he said that early, at least for the Knicks. Like he'd retired. But that's not to say if you throw like a duffel
Yeah.
like money at someone and say, hey, like coach for 2 years and see how you like it. But to the point of like they said Tibbs never wasn't the coach to get them to a championship. Mike Brown never won a championship. He had LeBron James. It took Tyronn Lue to come in and win a championship. So like he's a good coach. I think he's done well and like he was successful in Sacramento. He was a good assistant for Steve Kerr in Golden State. But he got fired midseason in Sacramento.
Mm-hmm.
You know, like he
was doing good in Sac, though. He actually had a great record in Sacramento.
He was, but like, I mean, it makes you question like why they fired him. Like they had lost like I think 11 games in a row, like something crazy, but they were still doing well. They had a young roster. But is it an upgrade from Tibbs? So it'd be interesting to see. They signed Jordan Clarkson and the guy Yasbali or whatever the hell his name is, the French guy.
I love that guy, Yabusele. I love that guy. He was on the Sixers last year, and I watched a bunch of games where he played, and I was always like, who the fuck is that guy? Because I think he's 6'8". He's kind of big, like he's got a big frame.
Yeah.
But he can fucking, he can shoot, and then also he can fucking play in the paint like OD. So I actually love Yabusele, and he's gritty.
Yeah. I think he'll be all right. So I mean, they just announced that Halliburton's out for the whole season. Tatum will probably be out for the whole season. Mm-hmm. Dame's probably the whole season. So like the East is wide open, and it's interesting because like LeBron's always got to be at the center of attention, and I think recently, even more than ever now, I think he's kind of positioning himself where he can have an out card with the Lakers if things aren't going well, and I think he's kind of played his cards to either make his way back to the Cavs or head to East and maybe play for the Knicks. So I think he's
or Golden State or the Mavs. They're on the list too.
They are, yes. I think he's though seeing that he might have an easier road in the East just because the way it's aligned for the next year and maybe two
Mm-hmm.
back from the.
Mm-hmm.
So like recently he said every offseason he trains at the Cavaliers practice facility, but this year in particular, a picture leaked of him playing with another guy. So he came out and was like, I do this every year. It's funny how the media just picks up on it. And like he brought attention to it. So like he wore a hat while he was golfing that said like welcome home. Like he does things very
Yep.
methodically or
Yep.
whatever,
Yep. Yep.
like position himself where he can align himself to do stuff a certain way. So I wouldn't be surprised if LeBron ends up somewhere else if things go sour in LA. I think he's going to give him a couple weeks and he'll open the season with them. But if things go south, he's the first guy to jump off the ship and be like, yo, send me and let me have it. I mean, rightfully so. I mean, like, if I'm that old and I have that much power in the NBA to kind of dictate my way to a championship, like, why the fuck not? Would you do that?
Yeah, but he has a no trade clause, right? So he would get to veto. They would have to send him to where he wants to go. Number one.
And he's got that rapport with the team where I think he could kind of be like, yo, I've done enough for you guys. Like, send me to New York, send me to Cleveland.
But they also say he opted into his contract, and the Lakers said LeBron is on an expiring contract, which is their way of saying, like, after this, like, that's it between us. And I don't know, man. Like, I don't know if I would want a 40-year-old LeBron on the Knicks because we would have to give up.
Yeah.
We'd have to give up probably Cat and OG Anunoby, I bet.
Yeah. Yeah.
And
For
I'm not willing to give up both of them for, you know, and I don't know. If you tell me we got to give up Cat and OG Anunoby for like Giannis even then I'm like, because OG is so crucial to the way that the team works. You know what I'm saying? And LeBron is 40, so he's still putting up OD great numbers, but it can't last forever, what he's doing, right? And
But to
I
get
don't
you
know.
like a championship, it's like a golf thing. It's like you can trade Tiger Woods now for some young guy and just get like his Achilles and legs for a year, maybe two. Would you do it to see Tiger win one more one more major? It's like you really want to see it. You want to see the Knicks win a championship, but would you trade some young buck with fresh legs to trade to Tiger's body for a year?
Yeah, it's tough, right? Because the other thing is, like, our offense runs through Jalen Brunson.
Mm-hmm.
And LeBron on the team, like, yeah, he could play a bunch of different positions, but he wants to be the primary ball handler. He wants to be the point forward, you know?
Yeah.
And it's like, I don't know. If it actually came down to a trade where it was like OG and Cat for Giannis, that, like, I can see happen. It's like, okay, all right,
Yeah.
I get it. I get it. But if it's
Yeah.
LeBron, like, he is 40 years old, dog. Like, it is very possible. Any other 40-year-old in the world, no matter how great of a basketball player they were, when you're 40, like, think of what Vince Carter looked like at, like, 38, right?
Yeah.
He went from being the most athletic motherfucker on the planet to, like, looking like a schlubby old dude out there.
Just barely being able to dunk it, and that was because he was like a freak of nature.
Right, and then LeBron, I'm sure gets his body right and is on all sorts of shit, and, like, he stays on top of it, but, like, can he do this at 43, 44? Like, come on, man. Like, it's getting a little ridiculous. So I don't even know. It's interesting because he's in a weird place because a lot of the teams that he wants to go to, they might say, I'm not really interested now because he's worth, like, it's like his market value based on his track record is very high, but it's almost still too high given the reality of how much he has left in the tank. You know what I'm saying?
100%. Yeah, no, I agree. My battery's dying, so I got a couple more things. Speaking of old age, did you see like Ozzy Osbourne did his last concert or some shit like that?
I did not see that. I didn't even know Ozzy was still alive.
Yeah, that's what I was surprised too. Like he was old as hell when they had you remember the Ozzy Osbourne
Yes.
show or Osbournes?
Yep.
That shit was actually popping for a little bit. Like I remember watching it.
I watched it too. Because he would talk and you wouldn't even understand. He's like, I just want to see how much he matter. And it's like, what the fuck did he say? Let me keep watching this show.
He definitely had his own life. And he did like his last concert and he might have been like sitting down or some shit like that. Like it was kind of sad and it made me think like not every like you don't need a farewell tour for everything. Like I guess people were like kind of enjoying it because like he's still out there, but like you could kind of go out just like people remembering you at like your last concert, like standing out, rocking out, eating a bat's head or shit like that. Like don't have your last image be you like sitting in a chair singing some song and like people being like, damn, it's kind of sad. Like that's our last memory of Ozzy is like him barely being able to sing. So like, are you for or against people kind of having a farewell tour where you can kind of embrace them, or like you're like, nah, just hang it up how you hung it up?
Nah, you got to go out like a G. You got like I think Kobe's last game he scored like 62 points. Like you
Yeah,
want to go out like that. You don't want to go out like I had 7 points. You know what I'm saying? You don't want to do that.
yeah, yeah. That shit was kind of sad. So yeah, he was there. I think with like the guy Steven Tyler who did the. I think he did the Aerosmith.
Aerosmith, yeah.
Remember that? Like when did he sing the song for like Apollo 13 when the movie came out?
Yes, or was it Armageddon or Apollo 13?
Get or some shit like that. But like
Yeah.
their soundtrack went crazy, and I remember like I don't want to close
Yep.
my eyes. That was a
Classic.
super banger. He was in the concert, and like there was the drummer from maybe Beastie Boys or some shit, but they all just looked old, and it kind of was just like sad, and it made me like yeah, it was kind of cringy. And then I saw another clip of I think it was Lauryn Hill was at a concert in like New Orleans, and they I think she went on stage at like 1:30 in the morning, and they like panned to the crowd, and there was like 7 people in that shit like watching her sing, and everyone was like defending her, saying that like it wasn't her fault, she went on stage late, but like sometimes you got to just read the room, and if I'm her, I'm even like, yo, I'm gonna call out sick for this one, like.
Yeah, she's notorious though for like always being late to shit and always
Oh,
like not appreciating her fans and shit. Like,
oh. I think she
yeah,
was like
there's
addict at one point too, so kind of fuck her.
yeah, she's got a track record of like yikesy things where
Yeah,
she's hard to work with type shit. And so
but
it makes sense that she like went on at 1:30 and nobody was there. But like
yeah.
comedians do that because they want to practice in front of like 12 people sometimes, you know?
I remember we were at, I think it was me and you were at the Comedy Store one time, and I didn't realize that like you could just get up and leave like after your main people go, like 9:30, 10. I think we were there till like 12:30, 1 in the morning, and I just thought that was like the show. I thought you have to stay for the whole shit, and you're like, yo, you ready to roll? And I was like, it's not over yet. And you're like, no, dog, you can leave whenever the fuck you want. And like literally, I think it was like me, you, and like 2 other people in the room, and we like stayed the whole time because I thought you had to stay the whole time at a comedy show. Walked out, and I think we saw like Chris Rock's brother or something like that,
Yep.
and he was in like the parking lot with us. Like that's how late we stayed.
Yep.
So my bad for making us stay for dumb long because you realized that like no, you can get up whenever the fuck you want at a comedy show, and I thought you had to stay the whole time.
No, that shit was fun though. I liked it. It was fun to like watch all the different comedians, you
But
know?
yeah. All right, I got Jeff Bezos' wedding. Did you see that shit? Did you cover that or like see
I
him?
didn't cover it, but I heard about it. I fucking hate these people. Like, fuck you for being as rich as you are and doing this big ass fucking. I heard it rained like a motherfucker on their
Oh,
shit though, which is great. Yeah,
yeah,
like they it sort of fucked up their plans. I think.
good. Yeah, there was clips. I kept seeing. I don't know how they got to the wedding, but there was photos of like Oprah stepping down onto some boat shit, and then like all
Oh,
this celebrity like walking. It's like it's so fake. Like Tom Brady's there, and like all these celebrities
yeah,
are there. Like, do you
you're
really
not
know that?
friends with him.
Exactly.
That's the fakest shit. You're not. You don't know Jeff Bezos like that. Come on, man. Like you're just trying to. You're only going because you're afraid he's gonna cancel your Amazon Prime or some shit. Like nobody's. You guys don't like each other.
100%. I saw that shit, and I was like, there's no way they all are like friends and know each other. Like that kind of pissed me off a little bit, seeing like all the celebrities there. I was like, that you're not all friends with this motherfucker. So like, it's not like a real like legitimate like cozy wedding where you've all had some type of interaction relationship with him. So yeah, no, fuck Bezos and his wedding. The hot dog eating contest. How many hot dogs do you think you can eat in 10 minutes?
Oh my god. Oh god. No, it's not even I wouldn't even use the 10 minutes. Like if you just told me eat as many hot dogs as I could eat, I'd probably get like 4.
What? 4 hot dogs?
Yeah, okay. So I don't know if this is controversial or not, but hot dogs to me they're heavy. I feel like they're heavy, like they're kind of filling.
I could
That's
down.
one point. But the other point is I hate the hot dog burps where you get these like
Yeah,
nasty ass smelling burps, you
yeah.
know? Like
Like
they almost smell like a fart.
yeah.
So because of that, I mean, I guess maybe if you get me a brand that's really nice and light and doesn't give me disgusting burps, I could probably eat like 6. But I'm stopping at 4 on those shits. There's certain foods where my ability to eat them is like cut in half. Like if you give me pizza, I could house a whole pizza. The whole
Yep.
thing, no questions asked. But if you give me like pancakes, I can only eat like 3 because they're so filling when you eat them. You know what I'm saying? Like certain things, certain foods affect me more than other foods where I just feel like I can't have that much of it. There's certain like cakes where they're so heavy that
Yeah.
like if you eat a piece of cheesecake, by the end of it you're like, damn, I'm full as fuck because like even though it's small, it's heavy. You
Yep.
know what I'm saying?
And
And so I
it's
kind of
too like the beginning of a cheesecake. You're like, I could eat this whole shit because it's so thin. But then by the time you get to the end of that shit, it's like fat as a motherfucker, and you're like, I can't finish it. So it doesn't look like you ate a lot of it, but you're like, no, I ate a lot of this shit. And to your point on the pancakes, it depends. Pause on like the thickness of it, like
how fluffy it is versus how like thick and cakey.
exactly, like but hot dogs are my shit, man. I think I could probably eat over 10 hot dogs.
I mean, I get it because 10 hot dogs would be the equivalent of like eating a whole pizza. And I know I could eat a whole pizza, but for me, just hot dogs in particular, I feel like I'm like on the weaker end of how many I could eat. So I really think after like 4, I'd probably be like, I gotta tap out of this shit.
Damn. And also they do it a weird way, like they um I don't know if they break the hot dog, but they definitely dip.
Don't they
No,
wet them?
well, they wet the bun,
Oh, they
and they
wet the bun. Okay.
wet bun. So Joey Chestnut had 70 and a half hot dogs in 10 minutes, dog. Like I would never, I don't know how. And then there was a female who won her competition who might have ate like 50 something hot dogs. Like I don't know how you could have all that food. They have to throw it up after. It's just to have all that food sit in your stomach.
You gotta throw it up, man. You
God,
got to.
like, because my body rejects. I do this every time I go to hibachi. I'll put too much teriyaki sauce on my shit, and Molly knows that like I put too much on it. Like, so we got hibachi to go, and the teriyaki came in like this little like Tupperware jar, and I poured the whole shit on there. And like 20 minutes later, I was on the toilet, like in one of those, you know, when you're on the toilet and like the pain will go away, and you're like, I'm good, and you stand up, and then you go sit down somewhere, and then you're like, fuck. Yeah, hit me with one of those shit. And it does it every time I have teriyaki sauce. So if like anyone listening, if I come over to your house and you're making some teriyaki shit, don't put too much teriyaki sauce on that because I'm gonna have to bless your bathroom.
Corin, you have a track record of like certain foods you can't help yourself, and then they fuck your stomach up guaranteed. Like
Oh,
Chipotle, the
oh,
green shit at Chipotle, you always say like that shit fucks my stomach up hard. But then we'll go to Chipotle and you're like, let me get some of the green shit on there.
something like you got to kind of weigh like what the. I mean, people do this with dairy. Like I know so many people that are lactose intolerant.
I'm
That
mildly lactose intolerant, like just a
well,
little bit lactose intolerant, so I got to be
like,
careful.
that's what I'm saying. But if someone was like, "Yo, I got a banging milkshake," you'll still probably be like, "Yeah, I'll have that shit." That's
Yeah,
the one.
so
Yeah, I've seen so many people that are like can't have much milk. They're like, I'll still have that ice cream sandwich or that ice cream sundae, and they kind of will either take a pill to like,
the lactate pill.
or just fucking bite the bullet and deal with like the bathroom effect afterwards.
Yeah, I'm usually pretty good with like I like milkshakes, and so if I go to McDonald's and I want a milkshake, I'll get one, but I'll get a small one, and then
Uh,
that'll be fine. But if I were to get like a large one, my shit would be fucked up. OD.
I feel like that the lactose intolerant thing was like the OG peanut allergies. Like that was around way before peanut allergies. Like I don't know why. I feel like everyone is either breastfed or they have some type of like powdered milk when they were babies. So like, so how are you allergic to milk? Like that should be some shit that nobody's allergic to.
I got a funny story. One of our friends, uh, I'll say his name, Brian. He
Yep.
when we used to like be obsessed with working out, we would go through a phase of like work out and then drink muscle milk. You remember muscle milk? They
Yeah,
had the
yeah.
different flavors and shit. And we were working out for like a year or two straight, and he would always house some muscle milk afterwards. And literally for like a year straight, we'd be chilling, me, him, and our other buddy Will, and
Mm-hmm.
like he would just start ripping the most disgusting, loud, smelly ass farts of all time. And the whole time, not me, not
Oh,
Will, not Brian, literally none of us thought like hey dog, I think you're lactose intolerant, and that shit is making you stink up the fucking room with the nastiest farts I've ever smelled. And so for like a year straight, he was just ripping ass, and we would just be like, damn, this dude farts a lot. But then like one time he didn't have the muscle milk with milk, he put it in water instead, and
Uh-huh.
then he didn't fart like crazy, and he was like, oh shit, this whole time I've been lactose intolerant, and like I didn't even need to fucking
And
like I could have just not been farting it like as crazy as I was, and we all felt like idiots. Like, how do we not realize that when you were like farted more than any human being on earth? We just thought that's how you are, but no, he was lactose intolerant, and we didn't realize it.
well, I'm trying to think because this weekend I went to a wedding, and low key, like I was kind of farting OD, like to a point where like Molly was like, "Yo, that shit kind of stinks. Like, stop farting." But I was drinking. I think I was drinking gin the whole night. Like they had this signature drink, this strawberry shit with like gin in it, and I've never had gin before. But the whole wedding, I would try and like go off into the cut and fart, and then like the bride and groom would be like, "Now we're doing our rounds to the tables," and I was like stop going. I'm trying to fart like in different spots of your building. Like stop. Like the DJ would be like, "Now everybody, we're gonna dance around Corin," and I'm like, yo, and there'd be no one around me and just Molly. But maybe, but I would never think to like go get checked if I'm like allergic to gin or anything.
Yeah, it's weird the things like I was allergic to Apple and Eve apple juice. I don't know if you remember
Yeah,
that
yeah,
brand of
yeah,
apple
yeah,
juice,
yeah.
but my mom gave it to me in middle school a bunch of times in my lunch, and I could not explain to you, Corin, like both of my legs were so fucking itchy. I would just sit there and scratch my legs until they were red and chafed and like scaly and gross.
It's
And
random.
it went on for like a week straight where I'm just scratching. And then finally we figured out that it was something in that apple juice was making my legs itch. There was
Yeah,
something in it that I was allergic to. But my whole life, that's been the only thing I've been allergic to is that.
yeah,
So I got
yeah,
kind of lucky on the allergy front because I don't think I have any other ones that I know of.
yeah. Mine is like hopsy wheat beer type of shit. I'll like start.
Mm.
Also, like if someone has a cigarette or cigar, like
Cats.
they
You don't. Cats for you were bad too.
cats too, hairy dogs. But like I'll be like a car in front of me could be having a cigarette, and like my window will be open, and that shit will get me. Like my senses for picking up any type of like smoke shit is like, I guess, really good, but also bad in the fact that like I'll start sneezing or like really get affected by that shit. And
That's
I
a
guess
good one to be allergic to, though. That's a
exactly,
good one. Yeah,
it's current for like cigarette
it
smoker.
it is. But the cat one sucks because I love cats.
Cat one does suck. And yeah, I don't know. I that one that's the allergy one is weird for me because yeah, the milk I've always been confused by because like we all drank milk as a kid. So like, and then eggs is one that like one of my daughters was allergic to eggs, and that's another one that's just like you can't be allergic to eggs. Like that shit comes from chickens, and that shit like comes from the cow. That's allowed.
It does seem very random. Yeah. For me, it was just the amount. It's only when I have like a ridiculous amount of like dairy does it fuck me up. Like I remember one time we went to Cheesecake Factory and I got this like pasta with a creamy sauce and I ate that shit and then I ate a whole fucking like piece of cheesecake afterwards. And so it was like a bunch of dairy in that shit with a bunch of dairy for dessert, like a heavy creamy sauce and cheesecake, and for like a week my shit was fucked up. And I was like, God, it didn't occur to me that the sauce was so creamy that like I'm doubling the lactose amount that I'm fucking myself over. But that was the last time I had a problem, and that was like 5 years ago.
Yeah. All right. Last shit. What's the deal with? Oh, one more. Are you in or out on fireworks? Like, are you like? Because people spend so much money buying fireworks that literally like 5 minutes later, all that shit is done. All like your backyard has like firework casings on it. There's potential to like kind of like blow your finger off. Like I think fireworks one are like the dumbest shit ever. Like it's cool to watch it if like the government wants to put some shit on or like Macy's wants to do their parade, but people doing fireworks in their backyard to me is the dumbest shit ever.
I totally agree. So we went to watch some fireworks that were done by some official shit,
Yeah, like if the
and
town puts it on or some shit like that, like
yeah,
you guys go and do that because that's like the town is supposed to do shit like that.
yeah, and it was kind of cool. I was like, okay, this was fun. I enjoyed
Yeah,
this. But in terms
yep,
of us doing our own fireworks, number one, we've never done it. Number two, we've done like sparklers every now and then.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
But number two, to your point, yeah, people fucking blow their hands off and shit all the fucking time with fireworks.
So many videos of people like just they're like sitting in their drive. I saw one video of like a family sitting in their driveway, and then like they pointed the fireworks at like the people sitting in the chairs, and the whole shit caught on fire. And I was just like, what do you expect to happen? Like, one, even if everything goes perfectly correct, like you look up in the sky and you're like, wow, that was cool. What's the best outcome you could get from that shit that like you leave and it's like a super enjoyable experience, whereas like the downside of it is like you like fucking Bonnie's gonna like blow her leg off or some shit.
Yep. No, I totally agree. I totally agree.
And you drive through like the whole state. I know like New York has a lot of these places upstate, but like there's so many like white tents and then like just like firework. You ever see those on the side of the road? Like you could just go buy matte fireworks.
Yes, I see them. Yeah, I've seen them.
It seems like there's like so many pop-up fireworks shops that like just randomly will like pop up in a parking lot a
Yeah.
week before July 4th. That like it doesn't seem like they make enough money to have so many of those little pop-up fireworks shops.
Yeah, and it's like those Halloween stores too. Like they're only around for Halloween, and then they're there for like 2 months and then gone the rest of the year.
They must make enough money. I don't know how much
Somehow they do, but it doesn't seem possible, you know?
It doesn't seem like a steady business. All right, last shit was Alligator Island. Is that shit actually popping off? Is he trying to do more of those shits?
Alligator Alcatraz, yeah. He's gonna keep doing them. So he sends people to that concentration camp in El Salvador. He's just opened Guantanamo Bay again and is trying to send 30,000 people to Guantanamo Bay. They opened Alligator Alcatraz, which is in the middle of the Everglades, which is like swampland in fucking Florida.
Like flooding, right?
What's that?
Wasn't it like flooding already?
It already flooded just from like a regular ass thunderstorm. And now they want to open them up all over the country. Like, this shit is crazy. They just gave like $160 billion to ICE. That's the immigration people that round up everybody. And like,
yeah.
I don't think people realize how bad it's going to get. Like, they're going to go after all sorts of people that they shouldn't be going after. You know, they already are, but it's only going to get worse. Like, they're going to actually start rounding up people who just like criticize Trump, bro. I really believe that.
It was kind of like a divine intervention or whatever of Mexico beat USA in the Gold Cup in Houston yesterday in the soccer tournament in the finals. So it kind of was like I knew a good amount of people that were rooting for Mexico just because.
Hell yeah, I'm happy they won.
Yeah, I texted my boy who lives in Houston. He's Mexican. I was like, "Yo, are you going to the match?" Because he's a big Texans fan and he always goes to I think it's NRG Stadium. He was like, hell no. He was like, you know how many ICE people are going to be there just rounding people up after this match? Like, oh, y'all won? Come, you're deported. Like, there were a lot of Mexicans who didn't go because they were scared that they were going to get kind of like rounded up and shit. Meanwhile, that whole shit that's happening in Texas, there was like a lot of, I saw, and this was just a video, like Mexican first responders that went and were helping out during the flooding because there was like no U.S., like there was one U.S. Like swim expert that went in and saved like a whole bunch of kids, and he was like, I was the only person there, so like we didn't have any bodies like on the ground helping people. Meanwhile, there was like Mexican first responders that were there helping people. So it's like it's crazy that they're and it was the same shit that happened with the wildfires in California. A lot of like Mexican firefighters went there and were saving people. So it's just funny how like they'll still come to our defense for shit. And like we'll like Trump and MAGA will still just shit on them.
It is. It's so dark what's happening to this country, man. It really is. It's like we just lost it.
Wild, bro. Like I didn't really even realize what was happening, and it's crazy because like I think that camp or that area is like pretty. It was like an affluent camp. Like a lot of people, a lot executives' kids went. Like Ted Cruz said that like his kids were there a week before or some shit like that. Like so you would hope. And it's sad that this is the case because like a lot of wealthy people with power who are probably right leaning, maybe they do some change and they're like, hey, maybe we need to bring back these weather people or like.
They're not going to do it, bro. This is what I'm saying. Like we don't, you know how like we've had a bunch of school shootings and there's been a couple of them Like Sandy Hook was probably the last one where there was a school shooting and everybody was like, you know what, man, we really should do some shit about this, right?
Yeah,
And like,
I don't think anything that like Ted Cruz literally said his kids. I don't know if they went to that camp, but they went to some shit in that area that maybe he's like, you would hope is like, fuck, maybe we got to do something. Like that could have been
no,
my kid, and that's
they're
what
not.
it is.
They're not going to do it because now we've lost our minds so much that like it literally is the case where you can have a school shooting once a month and it would barely make the news. Like
Yeah,
now it's just like, yeah, that's what happens. And I feel like it's the same shit with stuff like this. It's already the
yeah,
case. There was already like a month ago in Kentucky, 27 people were killed by severe weather. And it was the same thing. They cut the weather balloons. They cut the NWS. That's why people didn't get a good forecast. So they died. I covered it on my show. Almost nobody else talked about it. Now people are talking about this one and bringing up their cuts to the NWS and stuff. But it's just, I already heard what the Republicans are saying. And literally Mike Johnson, the Speaker of the House, was on TV going, we gotta pray for him. Like that's all they say. They don't care. Like they're never gonna fix anything. They don't give a. They're not there to solve problems. They hate the government. They hate half the country. They're just like fuck off and die. And
yeah,
like I get your point that when it affects them personally, they're more likely to say let's change it. But we've degraded so much as a country that even that does not lead to making changes. In fact, Ted Cruz was saying don't politicize this. It's like it is political. You guys cut the fucking weather shit. It is political. But
yeah,
that they're never going to do it. They never learn lessons. They don't care. And so it's like we're in hell where we know what the solutions are, but we're not allowed to do them.
yeah, yeah. Oh, I saw, or I think my sister sent out like the Cowboys or someone sent like $1.5 million, and she was like, doesn't sound like a lot of money to send when you're like a multi-billion-dollar company. But also, if you're relying on like the Cowboys to send you money and not the government, like that's sad too.
That's right. Yeah, because they cut FEMA. They're destroying FEMA. So
Oh,
like
really?
when there's an emergency, they're like you're on your own basically. I mean, yeah, these people are evil, dog. They're straight up fucking evil. There's no doubt about it.
It's like there's no coincidence that like everything they've cut, there's been drastic like devastation, like the flying,
Yeah,
weather,
the air traffic controllers. Absolutely. Yeah.
and then like Elon just wants to kind of wipe his hands clean and be like, I'm gonna start my own party. It's like, no, your Doge shit was the reason all this shit was cut.
Yeah, and he wants to go further. Like his party would be in favor of cutting more of that shit. That's why I'm saying he's a total fucking fraud. You know,
Yeah, yeah,
these people are evil. But before we wrap up, bro, let me ask you
yeah,
because I was thinking about this earlier. It just occurred to me this could be a good idea for us. For Kyle and Corin, if we live stream this shit,
yeah.
then people will watch live and they'll send in super chats where they pay like $5 or $10 and ask questions, and we can
That'll be
answer
super
those
fun.
questions.
Yeah,
And like
you know
that
how
would
to
be really good for your channel because number one, live streaming I think would attract more viewers in the first place. Number two, getting super chat money would be great for the channel also. So just
if
just
that's
something to think
breaking,
about.
yeah, I'm gonna try and get a new fucking laptop. And figure out how to do that. If you know, is that like is there a way to do that just on YouTube, like go
Oh,
live?
of course, yeah. I'm not. I haven't live streamed in a really long time,
Yeah,
but like I can speak to my editor or somebody who like knows what the fuck they're doing,
yeah,
and
I
they
know the
could like
Vanguard because when I went on their shit, like they brought me through some like backdoor.
StreamYard. Yeah, they use StreamYard.
Oh, okay. And
But
does
yeah,
that?
you could use that service. There's other services too. There might be some default one that YouTube has or whatever. But like, yeah, doing it live and so we could like set aside like we'll do 30 minutes or an hour of you and me just shooting the shit, and then people can send in their super chats, and then at the end of the 30 minutes or an hour, then we can answer the super chats and like they might ask us funny, interesting stuff, and we could riff on that shit. That
That
might
would
be a
be
good idea. People, I think, would like that.
that would be super butter. Yeah, no, I would definitely do that shit. Molly said she said that could be a cool idea because people have written that, but I'm like a fucking uh like a cat in the sense where like you point a laser and like we'll be talking about one shit and I'll see someone's comment and I'll be like, but I think it's a good idea that like I would love to do that shit, but yeah, just be ready for me to be ping ponging like, oh, Bill Dickey said, I've got big nuts, and then I just am like, yo, Bill Dickey, shout out to your big nuts, and like you're in a point about some other shit. But no, I'm out that could be some breaking news. Yeah, maybe we go live with this shit. I just got to figure out my fucking laptop because right now I'm recording on my phone, and who knows if this shit even works.
Yeah, you got to figure out the laptop, and then So you're convinced your laptop was the problem and not the internet?
I think it's got to be a memory shit on my laptop that keeps
Okay.
the Riverside thing because it, I think it's the laptop. Because my internet is usually good and it keeps showing that I got full bars. So I think it's this laptop. It's like an old Mac, but not too old. But yeah, I would that could be some breaking news. We'll go live or try to do it and figure it out, and that'll be super fire. Because I still shout out to the Patreon people that show love. I think I've got like 30 people or something like
Well,
that.
you can let them get first crack at questions too if you want.
That's
You
a
know
good
what I'm
idea.
saying? Yeah.
What are your thoughts on this shit? I haven't used sunblock, and I just got this shit on my hand the other day.
I don't
Molly's like, keep an
know.
eye on. I don't know. I have like weird spots on my arms, so I'm gonna monitor it. But like,
Yeah, if it gets
never.
any bigger, just go to the dermatologist and see what they say,
Yeah, I know. Yeah.
Because I
Well,
have no idea what to make of shit like that. Like I don't know. I don't know. I have no idea what it is.
I know. All right. Well, that's all I got. I have CVS receipts because I bought a Gatorade and that shit was like dumb long, and I don't know what coupons I get from that shit.
Yeah, the CVS is old school. They'll give you like a novel of fucking receipts that are like
OD,
that long.
OD.
Yeah.
All right.
But
Well, that's
one
all
more
I got.
thing before we wrap it up, I was being made fun of
Why?
by my niece because of this shit. See the
Oh,
keyboard on my shit?
a long. I would kind of. I wouldn't. Yeah, I would kind of joke on you for that shit too. That's some old man shit. But to your defense, and I've said this in the past, you've been a G of just kind of like if something is practical for you and it's like you'll ride or die with it regardless of like if it's cool or not cool. Like you're like, no, this shit is like 100%. If you had this, you'd agree that it's better. Like the phone case on your hip, you
I had
rocked
that
it
for a hot minute.
since '88. If there's a practicality or a reason behind it, you'll rock with it. So I'm not mad at you for having it because I feel like you really enjoyed having that shit. But I could see how she can clown you on that shit because it's like, yo, nah, no one rocks with that, dog.
So I would accept the criticism from you or
Mm-hmm.
for somebody else our age, but I am not interested in somebody who's never lived through any other era, but all phones looking exactly the motherfucking same.
That's true. We've been through so many eras of phones.
I don't accept criticism from people who only know a fucking iPhone. The
Yep.
iPhone has been the fucking same for over a fucking decade, right?
Facts. Facts.
You're like, for real. People are not sick of that shit. I
No,
remember we talked about this on one of the last podcasts that there was an era where literally everybody you knew had a different cell phone.
yep.
No two people were, oh, you have the same. Wasn't a thing. Didn't exist. There'd be fucking ones that were flip phones that had a keyboard here. There was the sidekick that you could pop up
One,
and type on
one,
that
the
bitch.
chocolate popped out, and then your keyboard came down.
There was Blackberries. Yes, there were iPhones. There's a place for iPhones, like, of course.
The
But
razor. Remember the razor was like
the,
skinny. You flipped it open.
there were all these different shits. And
Yeah.
that shit was just better. So for
That
me,
was a better era. Like that was an enjoyable time because like someone could pull their shit out and you're like, oh, what do you have? And it's like, oh, what do you have? And then there would be one shit that was kind of like the Nextel had its own category, had the walkie-talkie, which was different and unique. But there was so many variations of phone. Like there was the Nokia shit that only had Snake and like Minecraft on it or Mine whatever the fuck it was. But there was different categories of phones. So yeah, to your point, it's like if you're trying to make an argument and all you've known is the iPhone,
shut the fuck
nah,
up. I'm just
yeah,
not interested in what you
yeah,
have to
fuck
say
out
because you have no idea what it was like to live through the era when
of
phones were interesting and different. And the other thing is, and this is the main reason I got this too, is that I stay having fucking typos when I type on my fucking iPhone.
Yep.
And I saw that they make a product that you literally just, like, this shit, just, you put the phone, this is a phone case. It's a phone case that has a keyboard. And it's not like if I wanted to type on my actual screen, I could still type on my actual screen. But you just plug it in and it works. And so ever since I've been typing on this shit, I don't have anywhere near as many typos. I type faster on that shit. And I low-key, I sort of like it. Like, I admit, like, I will freely admit, this is some old man-ass shit. Like, there's only people my age and older are getting some shit like this. But having said that, I want them to bring it back, dog. Like, give me a phone that has a keyboard but also is a touchscreen, right?
Yep.
Like this shit would look much less goofy if you just chopped off this part of the phone.
That's what
You
I
know
was
what I'm
gonna say.
saying? Like if
Like
it just looked like that, it'd be like, oh, okay, that's what's up. But
yeah,
because you got that extra shit, it feels like, okay, that's a little OD, right?
yes.
Which is
I
true,
was gonna.
but like somebody's got to make some shit that has the keyboard. But it really is the case that the keyboard is just gonzo for real. But I say this all the time. Some people are iPad people, some people are laptop people. I've always been a laptop dude. I
Yep.
always fucking hated iPads. So, and the same logic applies to the kind of phone that I have. Like, I want to have a physical keyboard, but that shit has gone extinct in the same way that the headphone jack. I don't think the AirPods, I don't think that was an upgrade. I think
No.
that was a lateral move.
Yep.
Like, I prefer having the fucking wire. Some
Yep.
people prefer having the wire. And
Yep.
everybody just pretends like, no, the AirPods are like an upgrade. Like, no, it's not. You're just
No.
lying when you say that. In the same way, like, you act like preferring a physical keyboard is like inferior. But no, I'm just making a lateral move because that shit feels more comfortable to me. I like the clicky sounds. It's fewer typos. I type faster.
Yep.
But you get fucking judged like crazy for it. So when my niece was clowning on me, I was sort of like, yo, shut the fuck up. Like, you don't even know what it was like to live through the era where you had the... And she was like, oh, back in my day. And it's like, yeah, back in my day. That's right. Like,
Yep.
that's actually correct.
Yep. Yeah. No, there's something to actually having control over pushing the button, because like sometimes when I'm on my screen, like I'll like maybe there's a little moisture in the air, or my hand's a little wet or something, and I'll try to push the button and you just can't do it. With the button, you know, if you push that shit, you're getting that button. But to like the point you just made, that shit looks a little long. Like it looks like
It's long. Yeah, it's definitely long.
that's my only thing is like
Yeah.
putting that in my like I
And
put
this
my
is the
shit in my
smallest
pocket.
iPhone they make it for, too. So I
Yeah.
purposely got the smallest shit to have it not be as goofy. You know what I'm saying? But
But
here,
how often do you put your phone in your pocket?
I put my phone in my pocket all the time. And this one's actually fine. Like, a little bit of the keyboard sticks out, but not much. So that's doable. But here, I'll type some shit to you because the buttons also make a noise.
Well, even on the screen, like they'll try and make a clicking sound when you push the button, which is not you don't get the same, effect. I was upset when they came out with the laptop that you can kind of swipe the screen open and then you have a keyboard on the screen. I like, to your point, an actual keyboard. Like, to me, the old school keyboard where like the letters were a little risen up and like you felt that, like almost like not like a typewriter, but like that type of thing where you can push the button down and like you
Yeah.
actually like
Mm-hmm.
that shit to me is a lot better than just a finger on a screen or something like that. Like actually
That's what I'm saying.
yeah. And
You understand me, dog. You
yeah,
understand where I'm coming from with this shit.
I get it, but I also just the length of that shit, like in theory, when I got my iPhone, they asked me if I wanted like the regular shit or the XL joint, and I went for the bigger one, and then it was like too heavy, it was too long. Like with that shit, your fingers can only reach so far to like if you do want to touch your screen, like that shit is kind of a deterrent also.
Yeah, so holding it is fine, but yeah, I agree. It's just too, like, it needs to be like that. It's got to be like that. It
Yeah.
cannot be. It
But
cannot be that long. You know.
are you always gonna stay iPhone? Because I feel like they make shits now that like even like flip in half and like you could turn like
They do, but
it
the
would keep.
flip phones that they make are still all touchscreen. So it's
Oh,
not like you don't have a keyboard with it. It's just a flip phone that it looks the same as a normal iPhone after you flip it open.
uh-huh.
So I am going to stay with iPhone, but the reason I'm staying with iPhone is the convenience of it, the continuity of it. If I were to have to switch to some non-iPhone shit, it's a whole headache.
Changing
Probably got
everything.
to change my phone number, got to relearn. Like, I know how to work an iPhone. I know all the commands. Like, I know how to get from point A to point B. I don't know it with a non-iPhone. So
Yeah.
it's just too much to try to switch to
Yeah.
something else. So I'm sort of stuck with iPhone. But iPhone right now, I think, is working on one that flips. But the one they're working on is not one that flips
With a
this
keyboard.
way. It flips this way. So it
I can't
almost becomes an
out.
iPad.
Oh, okay.
So, like, yeah, it's almost like, think of like just a normal iPhone, right?
Yep.
But
Yep.
you can open it this way, and then it's
Yeah.
like a double iPhone.
Yeah.
So that's
Well,
what they're working on now.
yeah.
But I don't like iPads, so like I got no use for that shit whatsoever. And then
Yeah.
to your point on the size of the shit, I agree. Like, I never was a fan of the big ones, and I always had like the smaller ones. Like I had the iPhone SE, which is even smaller than this one. There's the
Yeah.
iPhone
Yep.
16. And that even now they're at the point where they don't even have an option of like a smaller one. They have like a sort of big one and then a really big one. And
Yeah.
like it just feels like there's plenty of people who don't want that. There's plenty of people who want a smaller one. You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying?
Yeah. I
And
don't
so
know
it's
when
like they're
like
not actually serving the market like the market wants to be served. It's very like, here's your options and shut the fuck up, because they have such a stranglehold on the shit
no
that
fact.
it's sort of locked down. And that's what frustrates me is like everybody's got the same shit. Like nobody's got some unique different shit anymore.
No. Yeah. I don't know when it became cool or when it became popular to like just like bigger is better. Like bigger is not necessarily better with a phone. Like I feel like small
Totally.
cooler. Like having some like they should make an iPhone like super mini or some shit like that. Like something that like fits in your pocket, like fits in the small pocket of the jeans. You know, like this. You know, there's like the pocket, and then there's that small pocket shit.
Yep. Mm-hmm.
Make a phone that fits in there, and like have something different. Like do something.
That should be so tiny.
Super tiny. But I also like don't understand why.
Like, look at this. This size. You
Yeah,
can
like,
make one
like
that's this size.
perfect. Yeah, like just have a regular ass like phone. Like
Just that size would be good.
yeah, and that's like what the old school iPod used to be, was like that size.
Yeah,
and
that's right. So
that
there's
was
not
the perfect size.
Yeah, there's just not that much choice in it anymore. It's just like you're locked into this or that, and I don't know, it's boring. It's boring as fuck.
Era where they have a variety of like different iPhones. Like they might come out with like an iPhone Razor or like an iPhone, you know, like I mean, if they to your point, they have a monopoly on that shit that they don't even really need to come out with a new line of phones. But if they were smart, they would come out with like a new line of phones that are just different shapes, different sizes, different all shit, you know?
Yeah, Apple is too. They're
Stubborn.
locked into this idea of like, oh, we improve it every time. But the way that they improve it, like I said, sometimes they just make it up. Like when they came out with AirPods and they're like, now there's AirPods. And it's like, I don't really want those shits. Like, I want just a headphone jack in my shit. And they were like, no. But by getting rid of the headphone jack, we were able to put like more shit in the phone. And it's like, okay, but I still want the headphones like the way I want them. And they have a tendency of doing that where it's like, they'll make a change and say, oh, we made this way better. And then it's like, did you really? And to your point, like the idea of like, oh, give us a bunch of choice, give us a bunch of options. That is not on the table. Like they're not remotely interested in that shit. The cool shit they're gonna do is come up with a phone that flips. They're just working on getting rid of the crease so that when you open it, there's like no crease in it, so it just looks like a regular, like iPad. But I don't know. I'm not interested in that shit.
I mean,
feel like
you could be onto something. Is that keyboard you got through Apple, or is that like some third party shit? Because
it's a third party shit, but it's approved by Apple. So like a company made it and they worked with Apple, and Apple like let it function on their product. You know what I'm saying?
So they might be catching wind that like people want a keyboard, because someone wouldn't make that shit if there wasn't a majority of people like saying, "Yo, get us a keyboard."
Nah, it is. I gotta be honest. It is a small market. Like there's only so many old people like me who are like, I want a keyboard, and so there is a small market, but like Apple was always fighting the war against keyboards. Their whole point was like, you don't need a fucking keyboard, and you can use your phone for more shit if you don't have a keyboard. And so they stood on business with that, and they literally won the battle easily with BlackBerry. Like remember when it was BlackBerry versus Apple, and it was like they were in a war where it was like 50% market share, and people were like, oh shit, I think BlackBerry's gonna win. Oh shit, I think Apple's gonna win. And then Apple buried them in like fucking a short amount of time. And so basically everybody's takeaway from that was like, keyboards are done. They're out. Nobody wants a keyboard anymore. And that's the way the market has gone. But like there is some small percentage, I don't know what it is, 10%, maybe 5%, that are like, nah, I live and die by that shit. Like I want to, in the same way I want a laptop with a fucking keyboard and not an iPad, I want a phone that has a fucking keyboard on it. But we're a dying breed. Because now to my point about my niece, now you have all these people who they didn't even have cell phones. They weren't even old enough when keyboards were a thing. You know what I'm saying?
Yep.
And so it's like, now it's guaranteed that if you come out with a keyboard, the younger generation will be like, are you fucking crazy? I don't want a fucking keyboard, Or
they'll be like, this shit is innovative as fuck. I've never seen this before.
That would be great if they reacted like that, because then we'd get more phones with keyboards, but I don't think they're going to do it, which sucks.
You know what I was just thinking about too? I was at that wedding this weekend, and they played like an old school '60s song or some shit, like "Run Around Sue." You know that song is like, "You keep away from a run around Sue," and then they played and like people were jamming out to that shit. Like that song's a banger. And then they played Little John to the window to the wall, and I was like, this song might be like to me some 1960s shit that like when my daughter has her wedding
Yep.
and they play like Little John to the windows to the wall, they're gonna
Yep.
be like, this song was what they played like back in like you know like
Yeah.
2025. Like it's crazy that like that song is gonna be like our when you hear like Dion or some like old like
Yeah.
Charles shit, like some old shit, and we're gonna be like, no, like that's what we used to rock out to.
Yeah, totally. So we were talking about this earlier, but it's 2025 now, right? We remember the year 2000.
Yeah,
Think about it. That's like somebody being in the year 2000 and talking about 1975,
yeah,
which is like if you were talking to us in 2000 about 1975, our eyes would roll in the back of our head and we'd be like, "Who in 1975? That was fucking forever ago."
OD. Yeah,
Meanwhile, here we are in 2025, and we could talk about shit that happened in 2000 like it was fucking yesterday, dog.
yeah, yeah, that's true. Yeah,
It's true. And the only upside though is that there are some people, there is a market for minimalism, people call it, which is like there are some Gen Z people who are getting flip phones because they're tired of like being addicted to social media. And they're
yeah,
trying to like say, I only want my phone to like do text messages and make phone calls and that's it.
yep,
And so there are a bunch of Gen Z people who are going, give me a flip phone. They are bringing back the BlackBerry Classic, like the biggest BlackBerry Classic. They're going to that shit because
yep,
they're like, I don't want to deal with social media anymore. I don't want to be online too much. And they're making it like forcing themselves to live in the real world more.
yep,
And
yep.
so there is some argument for that sort of shit. But yeah, we're definitely dating ourselves overall though, because yeah, I mean that it is what it is, right? Like we're damn near 40 years old now. Like we've been around for a hot minute, you know?
Well, I was talking to Molly's brother about this past weekend, and we were talking about directions, and literally he was like, when my mom would ask for directions, or like when my dad would ask for directions, he'd have to stop into a gas station, and the dude would be like, go 4 blocks down, make a right at the church. When you see the church, like go to the right. You'll see the entrance to the entrance to the highway. Get on that shit. 9 miles down, exit 6, and that's where your shit is. And like you had to remember all of that shit,
Yep. Yeah.
or you would have to like look on an actual map. And like while you're driving, he said his like my mother-in-law would have to take out a road map while she's like on the George Washington Bridge and have to legit like look at that shit. Like, all right, I gotta get off at like 139th Street or some shit.
I wouldn't
Like,
be able to go anywhere, homie.
I I'm I'm the same right now. Like, if I there's one spot driving up to Woodbury Commons that like loses cell phone service. It'll work if you plug in your directions before you leave your house, but if you lose the connection while there's no service, it's a wrap. Like there's like a roundabout and there's like 4 different exits on that shit. So like if you get lost, especially if it's at nighttime, it's over. You're done. You're gonna die. Like you leave your car and like never. Same thing. Like there was an accident and there was traffic. There's no service. You can't like call anyone. Like it's bad, but like people's memories must have been so much better because legit, I remember my dad having to remember directions that some dude would just tell him, and if the dude was wrong or like you missed the turn, you would just have to figure that shit out. Now,
It's
like everyone
crazy.
navigation, you know?
The just figure it out thing is crazy. It's like, how? How am I supposed to figure that shit out? No, it really is wild. I remember MapQuest. Remember MapQuest? You go
Yeah, of
online,
course.
you put in the directions. I
Print
want to go
that.
from this place to this place. You print it out. You bring the sheets of paper with you, and it'll say, drive for 2 miles, make a right on this street. You know, drive for 4 miles, make a left on that street. And I remember my mom would drop me off at my first girlfriend's house in 6th grade. Katie
Yep,
was her name.
yep.
And she had the MapQuest directions, like having to read through that bitch. And it's like, damn, that was in our lifetimes. We were without even the basic ass Garmins that you like buy at
Yep,
fucking Best Buy and put on your shit, like
yep.
stick it to your dashboard.
Those
Like
shits
we were on some primitive ass shit. And I
Yep.
thought MapQuest was brilliant at the time. Like, oh shit, it could just tell you the direction. That's crazy. Now, if we had to go back to using MapQuest, nobody would be able to get anywhere. We'd be
Nowhere.
like, damn, oh fuck, I missed my turn. Oh no, what do I do? Like, you can't update it in real time. You just got to be like, oh shit, how do I figure out now? I missed this turn. What do I have to do? You know what I'm saying?
I'm always fascinated with like how some companies, I mean, like we've spoken about like Blockbuster and how big some of these companies were, or websites and all this shit, and then literally just poof, gone. Like, remember, like low key, remember Ask Jeeves?
Yes, Ask Jeeves. That was the original Google.
That was like the original Google, the original like Chat GPT type of shit. Like that shit is non-existent anymore. Like there's some shit that was like the shit. Molly said there's like a website, or there's like I don't know if it was a not a show, maybe it's a show, but it shows all of the like Caldors was a department store that was a shit. The
Yeah,
Wiz,
Caldors. Yeah.
Kmart's, like these stores had like monopolies on just.
Woolworths. Remember Woolworths?
No, I don't remember what was that, like a department
I
store?
think it was, yeah, it was a department store, I think.
Like Modell's was a sporting goods store.
Modell's. Yeah, I remember Modell's.
There's so many of these like big ass shits. Like MapQuest is another one that like if you were to
BlackBerry.
tell,
BlackBerry doesn't even exist anymore.
yeah, BlackBerry, like if you were to tell me in high school, like, yo, this BlackBerry's not going to be around in 15 years, I'll be like, get the fuck out of here. Like everybody has a BlackBerry. Or like if you go into like the Wiz, the electronics store or some shit, and you're just like, or Toys R Us, you're like, yo, there's never going to be any more Toys R Us, just like some online store when you're older. Like, you're bugging. Like, there's Toys R Us everywhere. Like, the fact that those shits get shut down is like, it's wild to me that like that shit happens.
I know, and that's just what happens, right? Like, now, there's shits that we take for granted now that at some point, it'll be fucking replaced. Like, for all we know, in 10 years, Apple may be cooked, you know? Like, shit just happens, you know? Like, shit just changes. It happens, and you sit there and watch it all like, what the fuck is going on?
Yeah, it's scary. Well, not scary. I mean, it's good for, I guess, society. I don't fucking know.
Yeah, I don't know. Parts of it are good, but parts of it are bad, too, you know? Like, there's certain elements of it that, like, we like to think we're just progressing and getting better, but, like, we could easily just have made a wrong turn and fuck everything up. Like, I'm sure that social media has had incredible downsides to the way society functions, but when we first got it, it was like, oh shit, look, yeah, it's fun. We could talk to each other online. And now it's like, leads to the rise of fucking Nazism and all sorts of insane shit. And with AI, think about, like, AI. I mean, we could get to the point where AI is taking everybody's fucking job.
Yeah.
And, like, right now we're just thinking, oh shit, I could ask Grok a question and it'll answer it. Like, that's cool. And it's like, we don't know what we're playing with fire. We're playing with fire. And we're just sort of rolling the dice and hoping it all works out. But, like, at some point, that shit could just not work out. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. I haven't used the Grok feature yet. I still don't get, and this was dating back to Twitter. I think this is how it is on X too. When you want to like tweet at someone or X someone, you got to put like a word in front of their name. Like that to me is the stupidest shit. Like you got to be like, hey, Kyle Kulinski, to like get your attention. Where if you don't put like the hey in front of that shit,
Yeah, you have to
you
put,
won't
like,
see it.
a period and then put at the person. That's
Yeah,
how it works. Yeah.
that's me where I'm like, what? I hate, because then that shit was always so dumb to me. People are like, hi Grok, can you tell me or explain this shit to me? But low key, I mean, if Elon Musk invented that shit, and I doubt he did, that shit's super impressive. Like some people will be like, "Can you explain this to me as a country
He
rap
didn't.
artist, as a 4-year-old?" And it'll be
He's
like,
trying to fuck. He's trying to fuck up Grok and make it right wing. That's what he's
"Oh,
trying to
oh
do.
really?
Yeah, he didn't build the shit. He's got engineers that built that shit, but
Oh,
he's trying to
low
fuck it
key."
up.
I mean, but like sometimes it'll shoot some shit down. Like it'll be like,
Yeah, but then he goes, "Oh, I'm fixing Grok now because it said something about me that was bad." Like that's what he's
"Oh
doing.
really?"
Yeah, he's trying to fucking fuck with the code and tells Grok, like, "Hey, say white genocide is real. Say I'm
Oh,
right about this thing." Like, there's literally been stories where Grok, like, called out Elon Musk or, like, malfunctioned and was saying, like, oh, white genocide is not real and blah, blah, blah. Like, it would put white genocide in every answer, even when somebody didn't ask about white genocide, because Elon was fucking with it behind the scenes, trying to get it to say white genocide is real.
oh my
So he's been at war a little bit, low-key, with Grok and trying to, like, change it.
That's always the funniest shit to me when it actually works though, and like he'll say some shit and someone be like, "Hey Grok, tell me this," and then it'll just like make someone look like a complete dumbass. There was
Yeah,
one
I
that
mean,
I think you got, like, wasn't it like the Conservative Party retweeted your shit, and then the Grok kind of shitted on them with like cancer research or something like that. There was something that like one
That may
time
have happened, but I didn't see it. Yeah.
there was something where it's like you deaded someone on some point, and then like Grok was like, "Nah, he's right."
Yeah, it's kind of crazy because if you ever were to use Grok, it will kind of blow your mind because it
Do you have to have the premium account, or I could just hit anybody
no
with?
anybody can use it.
Oh, that's,
I don't have a premium account and I use it.
oh wow.
And you could say what I like to do is ask if I'm like researching for my show and I
Mhm.
just want a quick answer, I can type it into Grok and then put like I'll ask the question and then put short answer please,
Oh
and then
wow.
it'll just be like boom 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 boom, and then it's like oh okay great so I have my answer here. It does that, but the thing that's creepy about it to me is when like I like it for just like data gathering stuff,
Yeah.
but once you start you could talk to it like it's a person and that creeps me out. I don't like that. Like you
Yeah.
could ask Grok like hey are you conscious, and then it'll be like well it depends what you mean by conscious. I mean if you mean it like this no, if you mean it like that then kind of. Like it'll talk like a person and it's like I don't know. But then the other problem is I don't know if Grok in particular is guilty of this, but a lot of AI models are where they do these hallucinations where they make shit up when they don't have the answer. That's bad. I
They'll
told you
just
there's been
instead of
court
saying
cases.
I don't know the answer, they'll just like make some
They'll
shit
make
up.
some shit up. So like there have been court cases where a lawyer will submit a legal brief and it'll cite cases, but the lawyer used ChatGPT to make it, and
Oh,
then they'll just make up case studies and say like in this case in 1973 this happened, and then people read it and they're like that case never even happened, like that's
oh,
made up. And
oh,
so that's the other thing is like sometimes it gives really good answers and it seems like you could fact check it and it seems very data driven, and then other times it's like that's not true at all. And so it's kind of tough. They could be so wildly wrong, but also very, very right sometimes. In that sense, it's actually, that's very human of it, right? It's sort of like if you had to give a book report in 8th grade, you could just go up there. You didn't read the book, and you're just like
bullshit
bullshitting your way
fast.
through it. Like
Yeah,
it kind of does that sometimes, which is creepy as fuck.
that is creepy. But I saw. I don't believe any. I mean, like now all these politicians, they seem so phony to me as is that like I don't think any of them read through any of like these large bills. Like the guy Cash
Yeah,
Patel.
they don't read that shit.
Hell no, because why would you when you can just put that shit into ChatGPT or something and just be like, yo, summarize this shit for me. And if they're getting information on like page 70 or 789 that's false as fuck in their summary, they're just gonna spit that out like it's true. But seeing all
They
this shit with files makes me believe that like anything they say just doesn't matter anymore.
Yeah, and they don't even. I'd be shocked if any of them even put the bill into ChatGPT or Grok and said, summarize this for me. They're not
Yeah,
even doing that shit.
yeah,
They're
that's
told to vote on it by Trump and their donors, and they do it, you know?
yeah, yeah. I kind of do we like this guy from Fox News who's always pressing them at the press briefings? Is it Peter Ducey or some shit like that?
No, yeah, no, I don't like him. I mean, maybe he's asking better questions these days, but normally he just absolutely sucks and he's a right wing hack.
Oh, okay. Because I feel like every time I see questions coming out of that press like secretary shit, he's asking like hard hitting questions. But then today I saw that he's with Fox News, and I was like, I didn't like that.
Yeah, nah, most of the time he's a right wing dickhead, but I
Oh,
feel like sometimes the Trump regime is so insane that just a simple question really looks like it's grilling them. You know what I'm saying?
yeah,
Like they're so crazy. Like I just covered this, but they were saying like when they did the tariffs, they were like, it's okay, we're gonna make 90 deals in 90 days with
yeah,
90 different countries. So like we're gonna work it out. And then now it's almost been 90 days. They have 3 deals. And
yeah,
2 of them are like just frameworks, not even like actual hardcore deals.
yeah.
And
Same.
so they like were bullshitting about that. And then like now it's clear that there were no 90 deals in 90 days, and they got like nothing to say about it, right? It's
Yeah.
like you were fucking wrong, you lied, and there's no accountability, you know?
Oh, all right. Oh, I was doing laundry and this shit sucks. Like I want to come back in my second life and be like a fucking plumber or just like a handyman because a pipe burst in my well, it didn't burst, but a pipe leaked in my basement. Like and just it's the last pipe before the water goes out through like my sewerage. And I called one guy and he was like, "Yeah, it's gonna be like $800 to $1,000." And I was like, "Fuck for one pipe." And then I called my boy and he was like, "My cousin can do that shit for 300." And I was like, "Fuck it, bring him." So like,
Did he do it?
yeah, he came and fixed that shit, but like, I guess houses that were built dumb long ago, they did piping with like cast iron pipes, and they thought that was the way to go. But over time, that shit like erodes, and
Mm-hmm.
the
Mm-hmm.
shit was leaking a little bit. And then a friend of mine was like looking at it and touched it, and like that shit was like silly putty, and more water started
Ooh.
coming out. So now like PVC pipes are the way to go. So he fixed that shit with a PVC pipe, and luckily it was only like $300. So I fixed that shit. But like it's just crazy that like at any point a pipe or some shit can go on your house, and you got to fix that shit. And there's people out there that like he came for 50 minutes and just got blessed with $300. Like that profession to me is on some like plumbers, electricians make
Yeah,
fucking wow.
it's trade work. Trade
Yeah,
work
great
is
work.
amazing. You could do AC units, you could do heat units,
Yeah,
you could
AC is another.
replace hot water heaters. You can be an electrician. Like
Yep,
those are the things that like everybody needs,
yep,
and it's just it's sort of like it's sort of frowned upon in a sense to go down that road.
yeah,
They want you to get a higher education and become some sort of a professional, but like that's a good, solid,
nah,
steady living, and
get
you
out.
just need to like go to trade school and learn how to do that. And we need a lot more of that. Like we should have
Yep,
free trade school in this country so that people can
yep.
focus on shit like that. We'd be way better off if that was the case.
Gardening, real quick. I know I spoke about gardening too. I just learned recently that you don't spray the water on the actual plants. You spray that shit on like the bottom where like the mulch and fucking dirt and shit is at. So I've been spraying that shit on. I've been ODing. Like I get fed all these Instagram videos now of like how to water my plants, and they're like, if you're doing it this way, you're doing it wrong. And every video says it. I'm like, fuck, I've been doing it that way for. So I just learned that you got to spray the fucking base of the flower first, and or else you'll you could like get moldy leaves and shit like that because the water just stays on the fucking plant. So there's a whole science to
Yeah,
that.
but also it rains all the time though, and those shits get on the leaves, so like it's
That's a good
whatever.
that's a good ass point. Yeah, yeah, you're right. And it's supposed to rain, I think, the whole fucking week. So luckily, I don't have to like. I've been taking my hose out and spraying my water and all this shit, and that shit's been a pain in the ass.
Yeah, so you're probably happy that it's gonna rain. Crystal is
Oh
too.
yeah,
Whenever it rains, Crystal's like, yeah, the plants are getting fucking water, and I'm always like, fuck, I can't go outside. So there's a little bit of
yeah,
a disconnect there.
that's true. Yeah, I'm playing in a golf tournament actually next weekend, so I'm kind of hyped.
Oh shit, where at?
Um, at Cortland, where I went to school, it's like an alumni thing.
Oh, nice. So how far is the drive from where you are?
It's probably like 3 hours, two and a half,
3 hour
3 hours.
drive. And is
Yeah,
it like an outing? It's a outland, that
it's an
outing
outing.
for.
Yeah, and I think it's best ball too, so I don't have to worry about. Last year I
It's
played,
pro-
I think like twice. Maybe they used my shit, so I felt good.
so it was probably scramble then, where
Yeah, yeah,
everybody hits, and then
yep,
whoever hit the best shot, you all hit from there, right?
yep, yep. Yeah,
That's
that was it.
scramble, and that's the most fun of any
Love
fuck. I played in so many scramble tournaments in my
it.
life,
Yeah,
and it's so fucking fun. It's so fun.
you don't have to worry. Like you just
Yeah.
know ultimately, and it's such a good feeling. I think maybe I don't know if it happened at your bachelor party, but like maybe once they were like we could use Corin's ball, and it was just like a you get such a relief of like they like they like me. I hit a good shot. But like for you, it's like I think we were shooting, or you played with a different grouping. But like they probably shot your ball every single time. But for me, for like everyone to shoot your ball, it's kind of like yeah, fuck you guys. That was my
Nah, it's so much fun, man. But usually, yeah, if you do scramble, everybody's ball gets used at some point, whether it's for a putt or a chip or
I
a pitch
guess yeah
shot. Like, there's no way that it's never happened where like no somebody's ball's never used, you know?
yeah yeah
Because and it's probably 4 people in the group, so there's going to be some holes where like 2 dudes hit it out of bounds, one person hits it behind a tree, and you hit one in the fairway, and it's like we're using Corins, you know.
yeah yeah.
You saw LeBron's playing golf now?
He's playing. I mean, but again, that's like I think he just wants to be like the center of attention with shit. Because now like Steph Curry put an Instagram post up
Oh,
of like,
Steph is way better than LeBron at golf.
oh, way better, but like he kind of was like, welcome to the golf shit. Like I don't think LeBron's actually interested in golf. I think he just did it because like he knows that would like that's a new category for him that just unlocked new conversation. But
It,
he looked ass cheeks though, right? He had one shot that looked okay.
when he retires, I guarantee you he's going to get obsessed with it, and he's going to play it all
Probably.
the time.
Yeah,
But yeah, looking at his golf swing, I had a moment of like being like, God damn, I am like way, way better than LeBron James at something.
that's got to be a good ass feeling.
It is because you think like there's no that like it would be reasonable to say there's not a single sport where I could beat LeBron James. You
Uh,
can't name a single fucking sport where I could beat him. But then he played golf, and it's like, oh, I'd fuck you
I,
up in
yeah,
golf.
yeah.
But to be fair, like when people say, oh, golf's not a sport, it's more of a game, I kind of agree with them because it's not really a sport. You know what I'm saying? Like you're not
I would
doing
put it.
anything. It's like it's more of a game. Like it's a game of skill more than it's a sport. You
Yeah.
know? And so I'm fine when people say it's not a sport, it's a game. Like I'll accept that. That's fine. But either
Mhm.
way, I'm way better than LeBron at that shit, and that made me feel good because I was like, I would bet that at everything he could kick my ass. But yeah, he needs work on his swing. He's definitely got a lot of power because he's a
Yeah,
mountain of a man. But
100%.
like he's putting in too much effort, and he's not hitting anywhere near as far as he could. You know?
Yeah, yeah, yeah. I saw one that went straight, and then I saw one where it looked like he knocked the shit out of the ball, but they didn't show where it went. But you could see him looking to the right, and it looked like he kind of
Hit a
curved that
slice.
shit.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
And that's usually when you're trying to go for mad power, right? Like it'll
Yeah.
slice. Kind of
Something
swing.
like 80 or 90% of golfers, like new golfers, slice the ball.
Yeah, that's like when
Yeah.
when I'm not trying to put power behind it. I don't hit it straight often, but like I could hit it straight when I'm not swinging my heart out. But when I swing like full strength, that's when that shit'll go always to the right. And that's what it looked like he did. It was like he tried to unload on one, but literally it took off, I think, to the right.
So what you got to do is if you want to hit it straighter and not hit the slice, what you got to do is when you get to the top of your swing,
Mm-hmm.
instead of just coming down with your arms like this,
Yeah.
what you want to do is come down with your arms and your hip, like slide your hip a little bit to the target. So instead of going like this,
Yeah.
go like this.
Uh-huh.
Because if you go with your arms and move your hip a little towards the target, that'll make it so your swing plane is not out to in as much, which causes the slice. It'll make it so your swing plane is a little more on plane.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
So
And
if
make it
you
go.
start thinking from the top, go with your whole body. Don't just go with your arms. Then you'll be able to hit it straighter.
Right, right, right. What's up with is live golf looked like there was nobody in the stands at one of the shits that I watch. Are people still
Yeah,
fucking?
it's fake. Nah, like people fucking hate it. It's fake as fuck. Like it's all just Saudi money that
But it's
funded
never
this.
going to go away, right? Because they have that backing of like the Saudi
As
money.
long as they want to keep doing it, they can do it forever because they have unlimited money. But
Yeah.
like it's not taking off. There's no market for it. You
Yeah.
know? So
And
which
they
like
brought in this
that's
guy, Scott O'Neill, who I know, like not know, but like he's been a very successful like sports executive to run live golf now. So I thought they'd be okay, but like every clip I've seen, like they had like Chris Tucker and Anthony Anderson go to one of the events, and it was kind of like it was like sad. Did you see they put in front of they had Rush Hour on TV, and before it showed, it was like this
oh
movie.
yeah, I saw culturally insensitive or whatever the fuck. Yeah.
Like that's kind of like, come on, you can't try to like back to your cancel culture shit. You can't cancel culture Rush Hour. Like that shit is like that's a staple of just like
Yeah. How can they be oversensitive about that, but like undersensitive about rapists being like famous and in the public eye? You know what I'm saying? Like it's out of alignment. Everything's out of alignment. Like let Rush Hour be, but also like don't let Kanye do shit in public. You know what I'm saying?
yes. Jackie Chan is one guy that like I've seen. He went to like a New York Liberty game, and he looks super old, man. Like he was
He's
one
old.
guy. That, yeah, I was like, damn, man, not Jackie Chan. Like Jackie Chan was like our Bruce Lee coming up. Like he was the man.
Jackie Chan was everything, bro. I watched
was
every Jackie Chan movie. Every
like
one.
him and Chris Tucker. I mean, like they should do more shit together now. Like they should like stop coming out with Fast and Furious. Like come out with another Rush Hour.
Chris Tucker was Epstein's friend though.
Oh, for real?
Yeah, he was on the Epstein plane and everything. That's why Chris Tucker's been hiding for like a decade. It's because that motherfucker used to hang out with Jeffrey Epstein all the fucking time.
Oh, that's a weird like kind of like combo shit.
Yeah, there's like think about it. Chris Tucker was on top of the fucking world in all these movies, and then suddenly he disappeared. But there's a lot of pictures and videos of him hanging out with Jeffrey Epstein, hanging out with Bill Clinton, and it's like, come on, man. Like he got the message of like he cancel cultured himself. He was like, you know what? I'm done. I'll step back. I don't want
Uh,
people seeing the shit I did, you know?
real quick, you said you tapped out on it, but like it took me a while to get through this last season. But so Squid Games, you're out on season 3. You guys stopped watching?
Yeah, so we watched the first 2 seasons, I think, and we liked it. But when
Yep.
they released the new season, we tried to watch it. We got through like maybe 2 episodes and we tapped out.
Yeah, it
I
was
don't know
slow
if it's
moving.
because I don't know if it's because we didn't like the show or if it's because I don't know, man. It was just too heavy and dark where we were like, I don't feel like watching this right now.
Yeah, yeah. No, I agree with you. There was I had that moment thinking too. I like my girls were upstate for 2 days, so I had like some peace and quiet to just chill and watch TV. So like I had moments where I fell asleep, turned it back on and watched it. So I made it through season 3, but there was definitely a moment where I was like, this whole show is like too down, too like
That's
depressing.
right.
Like, yes, the whole show is depressing and down, but there were some moments in season 1 and 2 that you were like, all right, this is like a good moment that's
Mm-hmm.
depressing and sad, but it's kind of like upbeat ish to keep me moving forward.
Yup.
The whole
Yup.
shit was like demoralizing in season 3, and it was like down the whole time. There was no up moments. So I agree with you in that sense. But like, I didn't mind it. I thought it was a good show. But like season 3, they probably dragged it out a little bit. And then, spoiler alert, I don't know if you're gonna finish it, but like
No, I'm not gonna.
the last episode, they show the guy who was doing the Squid Games in wherever they were, like Korea or some shit, and he went to LA, and there was like a white lady doing it with a homeless guy in LA, like playing the game. So
So
they
they're gonna
made
bring it back.
like foreshadowing of like now we might
Yeah.
bring the American version, which could be kind of gangster because like if there was some Squid Game shit here in the U.S., low key, you might catch me in a subway station playing that shit. It's almost
You-
like, yo, you could win like $10 million. You just got to come to this island and play these games
and not die.
and not die. But like, if I didn't know that dying was the thing, I'd be
Yeah.
like, yeah, I go. Fuck it, I'll play some. So like, they might. That's it.
I watched there's this awesome Netflix show called Trainwreck, and they did one episode on the Titan submersible, the guy who went down in the submarine
Oh, right,
and
yeah.
that
So,
shit exploded.
yeah,
So they did one on him, which was a great episode. They did one on that Canadian politician Rob Ford. Remember that fat guy
Yes,
who got caught
yeah,
smoking
yeah.
crack cocaine?
Didn't he
Yeah,
die?
he did die. Yeah.
Uh huh.
So they did a whole episode on him. And they did a whole episode on, you remember what happened, the Travis Scott concert, Astroworld, where
Yeah, it
like
was-
a bunch of people died in that shit?
Yeah.
And they did one on that. So it's like mini documentaries. I think they have like 3 or 4 of them. Definitely watch those shits because they were
Yeah.
good. They were
Oh.
really good. Yeah, like it's about these, like the Travis Scott thing was a fucking mess. It
Yeah.
was horrible planning. People literally died because of crowd surge. It was all preventable. They didn't call the show off even though people were screaming for their lives and the fucking
Yeah.
audience saying these
Yeah.
people are dying. They were like, it's like some nightmarish hell type shit. That was crazy. The Canadian politician who smoked crack was a fucking mess. And they tell his whole story as to how he got famous, how he
Yeah, I was
got
gonna
the
say-
job as mayor of Toronto.
God damn.
They talked about this Titan submersible guy who like broke every rule, ignored every regulation, built this submarine and sent it to the Titanic, and then it fucking blew up and killed everybody. Like, it's just amazing stories about train wrecks, about people who were in way over their head and did some fucked up ass shit, and it's really, really entertaining.
Bro, that guy brought you down to the Titanic with like an N64 controller or some shit, right?
He used a PlayStation 2 controller, and also he built the submarine out of carbon fiber because carbon fiber was cheaper.
Oh my god.
But what you really needed is like titanium or some other shit that's more expensive. But he wanted to save money and do it with carbon fiber. And they had this system where they could tell when the carbon fibers were breaking. They had
Yeah.
they called it acoustic monitoring, where they put little microphones in there and they could hear when there was all these sounds that meant the thing was breaking.
Yeah.
That shit was breaking all the fucking time, and it would make these loud bangs and pop noises, and he'd be like, nah, we're good, that happens. And it's like, dog, the whole reason for the monitoring system is when it makes a noise, you're supposed to go back to the surface. And it
Yeah.
would make a noise, and he'd be like, we're good.
I mean, not for nothing. We were driving in your red Cavalier. That shit would make a noise, and you would be like, "Nah, we're good, dog." So
I know you're. So that was
to
when my
defend
brake
that
pads
guy,
went.
you had the same mindset when we would drive your shit, and I'll be like, "Nah, dog, your shit sounds like it's about to Titanic explode on this shit," and you're like, "Nah, trust me, that's just the noise my shit makes." So like, maybe you and that guy are similar in the sense where like he would hear that noise and be like, nah, we're good.
I remember this. That was when my brake pads went on my Cavalier, and
That
I
shit
didn't know
made
what
the
it was at first.
loudest noise in the world. And like you were just playing it off like maybe nothing was even happening. And I was like, yo, do we hear the same shit right now? Or are you just like zoning that shit out? And, and then I think I was even like, dog, something every time you break, it sounds like the world is ending. And you're like, oh, that shit? No, we're good.
It would make this noise that sounded like this. It'd be like, and I
Like that
remember
like that
I
shit.
just thought I
Oh,
thought my car was just getting old. Like, oh, it's just old. It's making like an old creaky ass noise. But then eventually I took it into the shop after driving it like that for like 2 weeks, and they were like, "Bro, your brake pads are gone. Like they don't even
OD.
exist anymore. You went straight through them shits." And I was like, "Oh, so that noise was a problem?" And they were like, "Yes."
That's like that guy, bro. He probably was like, someone on the Titanic shit was probably like, what was that crack? That didn't sound good. And he's like, I don't,
We're good.
nah.
That happens. And then at one point he says, "Don't worry about that. That's just the seasoning." Like, bro, what? Your
Yeah.
submarine is seasoning?
There's some shit that like, I just saw a video. It was in, I think it's a theme park in Ohio or some shit like that. They had a roller coaster that goes up, literally gets to like an end, like a cliff. Then there's a drop straight down shit that's not connected. The roller coaster twists down, gets in place to connect with the down shit. So like you're just free falling until it turns over and connects with the shit and then goes back down. And all the comments were like, I've gotten to a point in my life where that shit doesn't look fun. There's some things that like safety overrides the enjoyment of like there'd be no situation where someone could be like, yo, I'll send you for free if you want to go see the Titanic, but you got to go down 80 miles of water and depths and submissions and fucking water pressure. I'd be like, no, I'm good. Same thing with that roller coaster. Same thing with bungee jumping. Same thing with like jumping out of a plane. Like
Skydiving, yeah.
skydiving. There's nothing, no thrill that would like get me to do that shit. And then on top of that, you got to usually pay mad money to do all that shit. So like
Yep.
that, like to me, it's
100,000. They would charge 100,000 to go to the Titanic.
100,000 to go see the Titanic.
100,000 a piece. Yep.
That's
And
insanity.
they would make you sign a thing that's basically like, just so you know, you can die, and this thing is not approved. The dude who made the submersible,
Mhm.
he refused to get his shit like approved legally.
Oh, he was doing it like, under the radar shit.
Yeah, they called it like classing it or something. Like he had to get it classed, which means he needed to get it approved by an independent agency so that they say your shit is safe. But he was like, nah, we'll skip on that.
Oh,
And so he would give these people these waivers that are like, just so you know, you could fucking die. This shit is not safe. This shit is like untested. And people be like, okay. And they'd sign that shit. Fucking crazy. And to your point, yeah, we're not adrenaline junkies. Adrenaline junkies live for that feeling of like, I'm doing some dangerous ass shit. But I'm not an adrenaline junkie. I'm a fucking serotonin junkie. So I get off on fucking watching TV in my bed. Like that's all I need.
yeah. If someone was like, you could pay $100,000 to sit on the world's comfiest couch and watch like, the funniest Family Guy episodes for like 2 hours, but that shit's $100,000, I'd sign up for that shit in a heartbeat.
Over
Like,
the Titanic for sure.
over the Titanic, and I don't even know what the fascination with the Titanic is. Like that shit was cool, but like they put the Titanic on like a scale of like what the size is of like one of these Royal Caribbean ships or some shit. It's like a micros, like it's so tiny.
Yeah, people are just captivated by the story that they basically said this ship is unsinkable, and then it sank.
Yeah,
And like, so people love that story. That's why there's all these documentaries on it. And there was all these movies on it. And I get it. Like, it is an intriguing story. I've definitely seen documentaries on it and shit. But there ain't enough money in the world to make me go down that deep. Like, it is not safe down there, bro. We know less about the deep ocean than we know about deep space. Like, think about that. There's spots on this earth at the bottom of the ocean. We know less about that than we know about what's out there fucking a trillion light years away.
Yeah. And the water in general just scares me. There was like
it's scary.
It's super scary. There was a they showed a um like a fake thing of the boat going down and just showing the depths of the water and how it gets darker and darker and then darker, and like I was just like I would be scared shitless to just be that far underwater, like knowing one that the shit could explode, but then also like yeah, what if the window breaks or some shit? Like it's a wrap.
Yeah, and the carbon fiber was not equipped to go to those depths. So
So series, are they going to come out with like I'd be interested to know about the Sully plane crash shit. Like they should do one of those train wreck shits on that. Would be
that
interesting.
one wouldn't be a train wreck, I don't think, because it worked out. He saved
Oh,
everybody.
oh,
But
it
they
needs
might do it on
to
some other plane crash type shit, I would think. But
yeah,
the whole show is amazing. It's a really good show. You should watch it. You would really
yeah.
like it. I'm a
It,
big documentary guy, and those were just great, like documentaries about it.
yeah, I like ESPN does a good job. You ever watch like the 30 for 30s?
Yes, of course. Yeah, those are great.
Those they some of those are do they do a really good job of like deep diving into like an old
Yep,
um
yep.
series shit.
But on the water shit, I remember like 2 years ago, I never really go swimming, but I went swimming and I went to the bottom of the pool. It was like maybe 10 feet deep or something.
Yeah,
And I remember that when I got to the bottom and touched the ground at 10 feet, I remember feeling the extra pressure being that low. I was like, yo, the deeper you go, the more the water like crushes your body.
yeah.
And that's at 10 feet, dog. 10 feet,
Yeah,
it was like that. Imagine what it's
yeah.
like at fucking 100 feet.
I can't. I'm like deathly scared of even when my girls go in the water, like when I go in the water, and I know how to swim kind of, but like I said, I got caught in a riptide, and ever since then, it's like the ocean for me is no joke. And then I saw like, wasn't there like a shark that like came ashore? Like, was it Texas? There was like a big ass shark that just came to shore recently. That
Jesus.
I don't play with any of that shit, man. Like seaweed, stepping on rocks, like
Yeah, it's just scary to think like there's so much shit below me and I can't see it, you know?
shit. But I have been watching low key the show Tanked. It's like on it's like they build tanks in people's houses,
Oh, fish tanks?
fish tanks, like
Oh,
crazy
that's
fish
what's up.
tanks. And Dwight Howard got one, Jimmy Butler got one, Jack got one. So it's interesting, and they go to like these fish places, and there's so many different types of fish, and it's cool, I guess, to like go scuba diving and see fish, but also like that too is another one where it's like just look on the internet and you could get a better look of like the fish than you do if you see that shit in person. And it won't like like people want to go swim with stingrays and touch that shit. It's like why?
That's crazy. When I was at the beach, they were saying, there's a lot of jellyfish in the water. I was like, why the fuck is anybody in the water then? Get the fuck out that bitch.
Exactly. There was crabs on the beach at the shit we just went to. It was like a lake. I was like, if you have to walk around and like avoid this shit like landmines, like can't we just all go to a pool or like just go to like an ice cream parlor or some shit?
Totally.
Like
Totally.
why is this enjoyable?
Absolutely.
Oh, all right. Well, so speaking of that, I'm gonna try and figure this shit out. So yeah, that would be dope if we can go live because I'm sure
Yeah,
people would
we'll
love.
figure it out. We'll figure it out. That'll be great for everybody. I think everybody would enjoy that.
All right. Well, we made it work because the fucking internet died. I've been holding my like battery charger stream for like 40 minutes. Oh, love you, bro.
All right, love you too, man. Peace, everybody.